Okay, there's a completed countdown again. Hello, everybody. I see people in the chat room, and I've got one person in the Zoom session with me, and this is a new person to the Zoom session, and here you've got him on screen, and he's just now seeing how it is. So let's come over here and meet Alex. This is Alex. Hi, Alex. Yeah, so I'm gonna go catch up a little bit on the chat, and we're gonna come back to visit a little bit more with you later. Maybe some other people come into the Zoom session too. So the Zoom session is open for anyone who has the credentials. If you don't have the credentials and you want them, then send me an email, DougBetts@LiveWindowsTraining.com, and I'll send you the credentials. Today's kind of a more open session with Zoom. I've got a few things on my mind that we could do. What we're going to do, I don't know. We'll find out. Here's watch going down on the table, and so I'd like to get an AVDW check from the chat room. I'll come over here and look at the chat room. And Alex, you are visible on screen when I'm over here on the chat room. Is that okay with you? All right, thank you. Let's see. You know what? I need to keep that up like that because when other people come in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this, scrunch this down a little bit. There we go. Let's go see what's been going on in chat. Now, actually, the chat room started yesterday sometime, I think. I just took a look once. I took a look once in a while. There's people visiting back and forth as soon as, not long after I schedule the session. But then when I actually start, what was it? This is showing 12:32. So it's showing about half an hour of the chat content before I actually start the video. And on my other screen here, if I look back, I can see back to 10:32 a.m. and quite a bit of people chatting back and forth. So, oh yeah, well, okay, that's interesting. 12:32, I told everyone the Zoom session was open, and Alex has come in. Hello from Chris. Not going to join today, says. Let's see, that's from me to Chris. Hello, Yates. So Sam Lazar, Yates Network. Chris, Garrett, Alex. Hello to all of you. Sam Lazar. I was at a new client's place yesterday, a friend of Mom's. Chris, when there's over 400 people, chat room going off like a rocket, it's hard to keep up. And I think that was a reference back to Chris and Yates not connecting previously. Tony Wallow's here. Hello, Tony. Blues Rider in D.C., so Washington, D.C., I presume. Welcome to you. Chris, I may get to come to California closer to Christmas to see my niece. I may fly into Fresno. She lives about 60 miles south. Very cool. Well, you might check in with me, and maybe you can come over and get on camera with me here. Ida, hello again. Finished cooking. Chris too. Alex and Jeff, does anyone know a color laser printer that does not restrict itself to manufacturer? What? Does anyone know a color laser printer that does not restrict itself to manufacturer? So I'm thinking maybe you're referring to the manufacturer's toner cartridges for the laser printer. I've been able to buy off-brand toner cartridges for lots of different major name laser printers. I'm really not totally sold on the quality of them. Cartridges by firmware, but there you get warning messages on the screen. And Jeff, I did finally get what do you call it? Oh, PayPal credentials in my in the description of the video. Tony says AV is good. Sam, with my client yesterday, I had to add her email accounts to her computer. It was an iMac 2019. That was fun. Ida says AV is good. Chris, DVR not working. I refuse. You know what? That's because I forgot to set it, and that's why I do AVDW check. That's been a while since I forgot to turn that on. So I just turned it on. You'll probably have to refresh your browser before that'll work. And I suppose it's only going to work for the time period since I turned it on. Maybe you could check that for me, Chris. Now that it's on, if you refresh your browser, does it let you go all the way back to the beginning, or does it only let you go back to the point where I turned it on? Ken Stout says hello. Zvi Manor says, congratulations, a new computer from Kerry Holzman. Yeah, that didn't happen. I don't know. Maybe you didn't watch the video all the way through, Zvi. At least it hasn't happened yet. Well, it fell off the rails. We'll give a summary of that later if we choose to. And let's see, hello from Tony to Ken. Jeff, yes, my comment got split. Oh yeah, his comment got split about the cartridges. Oh yeah, manufacturer's cartridge by firmware. Yeah, so I can't say I've done a lot of off-brand color cartridges though, but the ones that I've tried, they have worked, but I sometimes get a warning message and just override it. So hello's between them. Blackwatch, yeah, he's been here all along. Now he's gone. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe he finally fell asleep because I don't know. He looks like he was up all night as far as I could tell. Gary saying hello to everybody. And Ken, hello. And Chris, depends on how far exactly she lives. I could drive up one day because I'm insured to drive her car, just not familiar with that area. Don't stress out over it. It's just a maybe kind of thing. Or maybe even just come in on a Zoom session while you're in Fresno. That'd even be kind of novel. Chris verifies DVR working. The process of cutting the cord, got the Roku today. Gary says hi. Hello to you, Gary. Yates Network. Coming over because I saw you on Kerry Holzman channel and his chat. Well, thank you so much. Good to see you, Yates Networks. I feel like I know you because I've seen you so much, but probably not until you just mentioned that. I realized, oh yeah, you haven't been here before, I don't think. Javi said that he had to finish work on the computer. He's sad that he had to finish work on the computer. Yeah, he sent me an email saying it doesn't look like it's going to work. So I sent another idea back to him, and maybe that's not dead yet. I hope not, because I'd like to see. Oh, I had thoughts going through my head of how to really work that machine to, really punch it around a bit. I did say, oh, you have information on that computer that Kerry was working on? Or are you talking about Matthew's computer in the network? The imaging, cloning. Say again? Sysprep and answer file. Awesome. I thought so, because I thought I saw a comment from you about that, and then you sent me an email asking for credentials. I was pretty sure that was you, so that's going to be great. We're going to talk about that. Checking in from Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. Welcome, John Lewis. And Chris, you cut the cord. It's unplugged. I'm flashing BIOS today. Don't hear Alex. Oh, you don't hear Alex. Oh, I'm sorry. I have not unmuted Alex. Alex, everything you said so far has not been heard. I'm sorry.
Is that my fault?
No, it's my fault. You're on now. We're testing you now. So people in chat, let me know if you're hearing Alex. This is Alex, and I am forgetting your last name. Cheek. C-H-E-A-K.
Yes, sir. I have to spell it out when I'm talking to people on the phone because they assume it's E-E-K.
Oh, yeah. Alex Cheek. And you also kind of be careful about pronouncing the K, otherwise it sounds like cheat. We don't want them to think you're a cheater, right? Alex Cheek. Welcome.
I don't think I've ever had anybody.
Oh, they've never made that twist?
Nobody's ever made that twist. Everybody that I've talked to says that thinks that it's E-E-K and not E-A-K.
All right. Awesome. Let's see. So let me get back on this here. There is that confusion from Ken. There is that confusion. I am not sure what confusion he's referring to. Is it the motherboard that Kerry's working on? Now okay. Yes, he is not audible. Tony okay. Zvi says Alex okay. Iowa Hank. I don't remember seeing your name before. Iowa Hank, good to see you. Welcome aboard. And Ken says, now a little loud from Gary. Alex is a little, I'm going to say that was meant to be loud rather than load. Ken, no, you forgot to turn Alex on the Zoom. Yeah, well, I've got him on now. So people are telling me that we are hearing him. And let me go back over here, and they're saying your sound, oh yes, yours is sound loud because I've got the volume for Zoom all the way up. So we're going to do another sound test for you. Why don't you tell us where you are located and a little bit about yourself? How about that?
Okay, I'm from Sheridan, Arkansas, a little town of 4,000 people, or roundabouts. I just finished college about 30 minutes from here at Malvern at Arkansas State University, Three Rivers. I have my associate's degree in computer information systems.
Awesome, awesome. So let me know in chat, how is the sound balance now? Let's see, I'm not seeing anything more since I asked for that. So we'll give them a minute to come up with that.
And I come from Mr. Kerry Holzman's channel as well.
Oh, good.
He helped me build my mom's computer, my computer, and repair several other people's computers, like at church and different things.
Awesome, awesome. That's great. And actually, after that session that I did with him, where I was on his show, I actually picked up about 100 subscribers within a day after that. It's like, wow. He's been an awesome connection for me with this channel. So thank you for coming over and checking out. And you made a comment on the video where we did a live stream regarding the well, let me go point out which one that is so that I don't say it wrong. Yeah, let's see, over here, go to content, bring this screen up, click on my live listings, and that was Vital. Wanted a, let's see, we had 2 sessions with Vital. He wanted Internet Explorer in here. So bring this one up. Not actually going to play it, obviously. I'll pause it when it comes up, and when I get to a point where we can see Vital. This was, come here, come on, get to me.
I do not have a solution for the Internet Explorer mode in Edge other than what they've shown. I just agree with everybody else and think that it is impossible to do that unless there's another way that you can actually have like the full IE version for like IE 11 and install that on Windows 11. That's the one thing y'all didn't try, but I don't know where you would get that installer from.
No, I don't think it will install. But there is another thing that is pending, and that was from Zvi Manor. And I've got that on another tab here that maybe will go show a quick overview of that. But this was Vital, and on that video he was asking for a custom Windows installer to include the apps that he wants. And I was going down the road of using Sysprep and a couple other twists to make that happen. And then Zvi Manor came on to the Zoom session, and he was really making the point that, well, he was telling us basically that he has routinely done imaging from one computer to a different computer, and it works. So I'm wanting to test that, but you've been using a method that you wanted to come on and tell about. So go ahead and tell us what you've been doing.
Okay, when I was at school, my instructor wanted us to set up a Windows domain, and so I went, set up all the Windows domain, and I set it up so that we could boot over the network and have a Windows. image. Like that Windows PE where it would load up Microsoft Deployment Toolkit using Windows deployment services and all of that. So I would basically, how I did that. Now all of this doesn't apply to, some of this doesn't apply to Vitel's situation just because he's not on a domain system.
Right.
But I think it might help you out a little bit knowing how I did it.
Okay.
For that instance, I set up a VMware virtual machine or virtual box on my computer with the Windows Server 2016 or 2019. So I basically had a domain, a client computer and an Active Directory domain computer set up inside of VMware communicating with each other. So then basically I was able to install Windows 10 after setting up all that MDT and WDS on the server side of things. I was able to install Windows 10 fresh and clean. Sorry about my dogs. And install the programs that I wanted to be able to, like VLC and Chrome and all that, with no drivers, because I knew with these particular machines we was using all these Dell model machines, Windows would pick it up automatically. So I was then able, once I got all the updates and all that installed, I was able to launch into the Microsoft Deployment Toolkit and make or use a command line. I can't remember how I did it now because it's been a year ago. But that basically made a WIN file, an install.win file that I was then able to copy onto a flash drive, take to school, do that same kind of setup at school, set up all the WDS and Microsoft Deployment Toolkit stuff at school, take that WIN file off that flash drive, and then boom, I was able to boot up off of the network and install all that stuff, and every computer was exactly the same. Only thing is when I went to load the MDT over the network, every time I didn't know that I could do an answer file at the time, and I checked into it, and it was a lot more complicated. It's really complicated to do it the official Microsoft way. So I just didn't do that. I just went through, because like you had to basically, I had it set up so I had like 3 or 4 people helping me, but you basically had to go through every computer and tell it what the username and password was to join the domain, to be able to grab the image up off the server. But then once all the time zone settings, you would have to set all the time zone settings and all that manually. But then once all that was done, all I'd have to do is it'd load right into the desktop, and then I'd reboot, and everything would automatically be joined to the domain, so that somebody would be able to log in and immediately start using the computer.
Okay.
But that's the way I did it.
Yeah.
But I've been practicing, on a VMware just last night to do it the way Vitel would need it done. And the way to do that would just be to simply install everything he needs on a fresh Windows 10 with no drivers.
Sysprep.
Actually, before you Sysprep, you would there's a website that you can go to that will create. You fill in the blanks, and it will automatically create the unattend XML file for you.
Oh, that's what I need. That's what I'm missing.
And as long as and I checked this out last night, and it does work as long as you input the right, fields and information in that file and have it named, the file name correct. But as long as you put that file in that Sysprep folder in the C drive, after you install everything you need, it will automatically when you reboot it after Sysprep, it will automatically install whatever put on there. Like if you set your username to Bob or whatever, it will make your username Bob. But one thing with that method is you want to make sure that you go in the first time you set up a Windows 10, when you fresh install a Windows 10 and it comes up to the select language or select region for OOBE. The first time you do that to install, before you install all the programs and everything you need, you want to make sure that you go into audit mode, system audit mode. And how you do that is you go into you press Control Shift.
Hold it. I didn't understand. What mode did you say?
Audit mode.
Audit mode. Okay, yes, I saw audit mode.
You want to go into audit mode by pressing Control Shift and F3, I believe.
Right.
And that will basically put you into, it will basically unlock the default administrator account so that you can make whatever changes you want to, update the system, install whatever software you want to. And that way, when you after you Sysprep, you tell it you want to do it out of box experience and you want to shut down. So that way, when you have your unattended answer file in the Sysprep folder that you put there while you was in audit mode, it will automatically go through and set up your user account and all that automatically for you and take you straight to the desktop without you having to do anything. If you don't do it that way, and you go through the process the first time of creating a user account, what you'll end up with is you'll end up with 2 or 3 user accounts. You'll end up with another user account that you used before you Sysprepped the machine, so that you'll have to go back in after you're done on every single computer and delete every other user account, which is what I had to do when I was setting these computers up on the domain, because it took me a while to figure out, how to do everything.
Yeah. For me, I think I would probably leave the extra user account and make that my user account, because sometimes I need my own user account for connecting remotely to a computer that has admin rights, whereas the end user account might be a standard account, or they might even have a secure password that I'm not intended to have.
And you can set all that. You can set all that for whatever user you want in the automatic unattended answer file. You can set passwords, all of that stuff that you would normally set in the OOBE. You can set in that file on that website that I was telling you about.
Now, on the video that I made with Vital and others in the chat, Javi Manor made the strong pitch for just doing imaging from one computer to another. And at the time, and even after, for some time after that, I was thinking, well, gosh, that'd be a whole lot easier, except that it's going to come up with the same computer name, same user account. If you use the Sysprep and go through that installation, you have the opportunity of putting in a fresh username and you get a fresh computer name.
If you use the Sysprep and the unattended answer file through this website that I'm talking about, where it says computer name, and this is on Microsoft's own documentation, where it says computer name, you can put a star, you can put like an asterisk, like shift number 8, and that will make it a random computer name every time.
Okay. So can you tell me what that website is? I'm gonna take a break and go catch up on chat before we go to it. But you have that at hand, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you just hang on for a minute. I'm gonna go back and catch up on chat. Keep in mind you're still on the screen. And let's see, awesome, Alex, great to hear. Sounds close to perfect. Cool. Javi, yesterday, Kerry mentioned about your computer and other products he must finish. I had not yet. I started watching the video from Friday with him and Mitch, but hadn't finished it, so I hadn't heard that yet. Sounds okay from Ida. Yates, very nice. Jeff, to Alex, 4,000 is being compared to where I grew up. Oh, the size of your city, I think. Yeah. Hello's there. You told me that. Whoa, that jumped way far away. Where did it go? Oh, yeah. Oh, Yates Networks. Wow, $5. Thank you, Yates Network. You are first on the board total for this live stream so far. Thank you for the stream. This is awesome idea, he says. I have the, Chris says, I have the 11 installer. It does not install, LOL. So, yeah, remind me to come back to what is still pending on the effort for that, and that one was from Javi Manor. Ken to Jeff, Google Eminence, that's where I'm from. Okay, I got to stop reading all of them and just start focusing on people that have named me in orange. Alex sounds like me. Like he is from Yawa. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that one. I'm kind of glancing through these. Let's see, Chris to Gary, Doug could try. I have reimaged Windows 10 on my machine. Yeah, I'm not quite comprehending that. 150 people, grab a soda, pushing images over the network, local library, and here I'm doing more than just orange, aren't I? Chris to me. A friend of mine bought 2 Lenovo laptops with 128 gigabyte SSD. He got the one with 128 gigabytes so he could buy one for his wife. I got to explain to him 128 gigabyte is not enough. Well, if you're only doing web stuff, it may be. Yeah, but you're not going to be installing very many programs on top of that and still have good performance. SSD, keep in mind, SSD, the performance of that really goes down when it's got a high percentage of the drive full. SSD likes to have some elbow room because it has to keep moving things around and refreshing and keeping those parts on the sections on the SSD fresh. So it's not good for those to have a high percentage full. I always go about 500 gigabytes minimum. If it's 480, I would not care too much. So he doesn't mind going down to 480. Iowa Hawk to Chris, depending on usage, 128 can be just fine. To agree with that. What would be the best way to explain 128 gigabyte is going to be real small? Lenovo has at least 15 gigabyte recovery partition than the other partitions. So he's asking what would be the best way to explain 128 gigabyte is going to be real small. Well, what I would tell a normal person, that means people who are not technicians, don't know really, what do you mean gigabyte? What is this word gigabyte? I don't understand that. That's what you're getting from those, what I call normal people. What I would explain is if you're just going to be going to websites, just using the stuff that's available at websites and not actually installing software on your computer, then the 128 gigabyte is going to be free. If you're going to use Microsoft 365 applications through the web and not install them on your computer, then you'd be fine with it. Now, you might even be fine installing those, but the problem with installing the Microsoft Office suite of software on your computer, you don't get to pick and choose what you want. Maybe you only need and care about Microsoft Word. Well, you gotta install the whole thing. You can't just do Microsoft Word off of a Microsoft 365 account. Gary, to me, clone or imaging would have driver problems. Well, you know, that's what I have assumed for a long time because that was my experience with Windows 7. Javi Manor insists that he's been doing it between different make and model computers, not having driver problems. Now, you would have to, like if you take an image from a Dell computer and put it on HP, you're going to have to go to HP's website and install the HP drivers. But I have to do that anyway. When I do a fresh install, I'm going to do that anyway. So I was thinking I was going to try it. And as a matter of fact, here, that computer from Carrie, if I wound up getting that next week, that was going to be one of the first things I was going to do. And this is way too extreme. I had in mind I was going to take an image of my streaming computer, the one that I'm actually streaming with right now, and restore that to that computer that Carrie's was planning to send to me. and expecting, I want to see what are the troubles that I run into. And then I was going to go to a more simple thing, meaning this Dell microcomputer that I have over here. How do I show you that? It's another one of these. You've seen me do a few of those. But anyway, setting that up with just my basic routine, meaning Adobe Acrobat and that, why do I keep forgetting the name of that video software that we use so much?
TLC?
Say again?
VLC?
TLC, there you go. That's it. You know, and Google Chrome and, you know, initialize Edge and just very generic without any license specific things, and take an image of that and then try restoring it to an HP computer and see how that works. So that's but I'm still very interested in doing the whole thing, the Sysprep and unattend XML, because I can see some advantages to that. Which way is going to wind up being my preference? I don't know. Tom, now I have you and Carrie. Well, welcome, Tom. I think that's the first time I've seen your name here, too. I am implying that you came over here by seeing me with Carrie. So glad to have you here. 128 gigabyte for boot drive is only good for people who only do web surfing, email, and Facebook. Perfect. And you do not need more than that so far. What's going to happen down the road? I don't know. But I think you'd be fine starting out with that. If this is what you're doing.
But those people can also go get a Chromebook like my dad has.
Well, yeah. If somebody has only these needs, why even have a Windows PC? You can do fine with the Chromebook. It's going to cost less. You're going to have less, nuisance with updates and so on. So that's a really valid thing. Now I finally do have the Chrome OS installed on this computer, and that's one. I've got 5 of those that are intended to do that if needed. Now, I have not yet done a video on how I did that because it turned out to be really a struggle to get through it. It was worse than I thought, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, if that makes sense. I think I can go back and make a video out of it, but first I want to see, can I take an image file of that and restore it to one of the other computers? Because Zvi Manor had tried to do that, and he said he couldn't get it to clone to another computer. And he didn't use the same Chrome OS installation method that I did, so I don't know if that's going to make a difference, but I haven't got to that point yet. Sam says, I have a friend who had issues installing Windows 11. He ended up preloading the drivers into the ISO, then it worked. Ooh, wow. What a pain that is. Chris. Oh, he's telling me how to pronounce that word up there, isn't he? Where was that? Oh, here. Jawja. So he's telling me it's pronounced, I don't know. Does that mean jaw? Do you know that? Do you know that place, Alex? Alex sounds like me.
What are you referring to?
Up here, do you see it on the YouTube video, this word that I have highlighted? Chris was saying that you, Alex, sounds like Chris, like he is from Jaw. Down here, he's telling me how to pronounce that.
Georgia.
What? Georgia. Hey, that might be his. He's trying to give the.
Well, he's close. I'm actually from Arkansas. He's close.
Yeah. He's trying to give me the accented pronunciation of Georgia. Yeah, maybe that's what he's saying. He'll give us a confirmation or a rebuttal later. I think his wife wants to do Microsoft Office. What? His wife wants to do Microsoft Office. Oh, he's talking about his client. Hello, Doug, to all from Montreal. I'm going to assume that was Montreal. Hello, Mike. Good to see you. Gary says, you, me, normals, Mary Jo. Yeah, there you go. Oh, the screen just jumped way over on me. Where'd it go to? Here we go. Image yours first. Chris is wanting me to do my computer first to the computer that Carrie sends to me. If that winds up happening, he doesn't owe me a computer. My jaw kind of dropped when he said he wanted to send me that. They put those 128 gigabytes SSDs because they want you to use Windows 10 in S mode with an online account and store everything on OneDrive. Yeah, that would do it. Sam likes VLC. VLC, not T. I said TLC, didn't I? Yeah, Alex, you probably said VLC, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my mind was just trying to not give it that much attention to it. Let's see, that's chit chat. I'm skipping through some things. Jeff says, used Chromebook last year for my grandson's school. It was pretty bad. Well, pretty bad okay. Did it not meet his needs for school when you say it was pretty bad, or do you say it was pretty bad when you tried to use it with what you're used to? Yates says, I'm back. I have the last revision flashing now. I started about 46 minutes? I'm not sure what he means. Let's see. Yeah, Chris is following up on that comment. He could get his wife a good one and use his. He has a 2 terabyte hard disk drive, but I can put SSD in it. Gary, $10 contribution. Thank you so much. He says, glad your channel is getting bigger. Thank you so much. And thank you, Carrie Holzman, for your contributions in helping my channel get known. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to skip over some things. Put me in orange if you really want me to read what you're saying. Wintermute says Georgia is Georgia. I'm still catching up DVR mode. It's like jaw, your jaws, jaw. I'm kind of having fun pronouncing that now. Attention to detail important. It sets us apart from other IT pros. Absolutely. Thank you, Yates. Mountain biking kid. I remember for myself back in the old days, if you had a virus, you could not reinstall same as you first had to install a different OS, then back to the original. I'm sure with bad virus. I tell you what, I think it's been years since I've done a real virus remediation. It used to be 1 or 2 a month back in the day. And that just doesn't happen anymore. And I'm saying the reason why that's not happening anymore is that the bad guys are more interested in hacking and stealing, and viruses just aren't that high. I'm just not seeing them. I don't know what.
The last repair I did for somebody was a dead hard drive.
Dead hard drive.
I booted up to a Linux Ubuntu install, and it couldn't see the hard drive, and it was like when they tried to boot up the computer, it was going straight to the BIOS. No detection of the hard drive whatsoever. Yeah. Swap the old hard drive with an SSD, install Windows and all my little programs I like to install, and they're good. And it only costs $50.
Okay, but you didn't recover their hard drive.
No, because I couldn't, because the hard drive was dead. Okay,
sure. I just realized when I was on with Carrie and he had our half screen type thing, I had moved my monitor angle. And now I realize I've been sitting off on the side, a little weird. All right, so then, it's all right there. All right, so then, Yates, I also have patch management running on all client systems, so I push appropriate policy based on most commonly installed software automatically. Okay, I have patch management running on all client systems, so I push appropriate policy based on most commonly software installed automatically. So obviously you're working in the domain Active Directory environment with your clients. I don't have many of those. I am setting one up right now. And for those of you who are familiar with Mike Smith, he's helping with that project. Sam, I find it funny when I get a free old laptop from client. IT is always funny that a 10-year-old computer has an 8-year-old BIOS update, which is never done before. And it's change online account, local account. Oh, yes, that's easy. 4640. Yeah, it's 4 or 6, not 46. My bad. Oh, okay, I remember something back up there. I had something with the number 46. I'm not going to chase back what it was. Jeff, his Chromebook would lock up or he would accidentally get kicked out of the classroom sessions. Oh, that was when he was referring how long ago he had started something, I think. His Chromebook would lock up or he would accidentally get kicked out of the classroom sessions. Oh, that's what Jeff was saying about the Chromebook for, was it his grandson or whoever it was? He said it was so bad. So it would lock up, you would accidentally get kicked out, so it was not performing well for his purposes. Yeah, I've heard clients who their kids have Chromebooks in school and not really very happy with it. Okay, I gotta start focusing on Orange. Ransomware is not a virus to me. Absolutely not a virus. Not a virus. It will walk right around your virus protection because it tricks somebody into clicking on something. If they click on something, the antivirus is not going to stop that. Savi Manor, did you change the location of the mic? Well, I've got the mic back where I've had it during my last few live streams. It's not down here on the table where I had it with Carrie. With Carrie, I had it down here because I wasn't going to need to be doing stuff on my keyboard. But I can't I can't have it here for my live streams. But I tell you what I have done. This morning, ay, caramba, I went down, see, I want to keep saying rabbit hole, but Carrie uses that squirrel. I went chasing stuff on microphones, XLR, USB, shotgun, big mic, little tiny thing, even I was taking a lapel mic with a wire on a boom, so it just hang out here because his lapel mic sounds really good. Can't deny that. And just so many different options and dynamic versus whatever that other word was. Not cardioid. Cardioid is the pattern, but dynamic versus the kind that needs a power applied.
Condenser.
Say again?
Condenser.
Thank you. And so XLR adapter, a cable that has XLR on one side and USB on the other, and another one XLR into a box that then goes to USB, and because that box can provide power to the condenser mic, whereas the cable that goes from XLR straight to USB does not provide power, so you can't use a condenser mic. Ay, caramba, just so many variations. People often overlook that. Yeah, I don't know what's unique my clients. Yeah, dominate the chat. I'm not sure what Yates is referring to about overlooking. Sam, come on, orange only, Doug. Or otherwise, I'd take too long. So if you want me to see it, put it in orange. Otherwise, I'm going to assume it's chit chat or for the other people in the chat. If you want me to see it, please put me in orange. To be fair, it was old Chromebook provided by the school. Okay, that is fair. You cannot be judging it off. I don't think off of that. Carrie's mic better sound, good for 600. Well, that 600 is not just. You're not just paying for the sound. You're paying for the wireless. I have no interest in wireless, and I don't want to deal with batteries. I don't need to. I don't walk around. So I don't need that. I don't want to add an extra point of failure. And you've seen his microphone fail. And, oh boy, here. All right. You've seen his microphone fail. You've seen him go through part of the video, and then chat room is pointing out, hey, your microphone's not working. and they figure out that his voice is coming over Mitch's microphone. When I pre-record a video, I do not want to find out after I've done an hour-long recorded video that my audio's not been working because I don't have a chat room. So I want to reduce the number of things that can go wrong. I don't want batteries involved. I don't want wireless involved. It's got to be reliable. I can punch a button and go, because I don't only do live. Kerry pretty much only does live. Once in a while, he'll do a recorded. Doesn't last very long, but most of what he does is live. So yeah, I want to keep it as, don't get complicated where it doesn't need to be complicated. Keep it simple wherever I can.
It's a complete 180 of what he used to do years ago, because he used to always say years ago that he would never do a live video. Never ever.
Well, that's true. And there was also a time when he tried having a guest on, or he tried doing phone calls, and then he said, no, I'm not going to do that. But hey, Alex, something else he said that he criticized people for and said that's pointless to do is RGB. Right?
You were correct.
You remember that? There was back a few years ago, or he just ridiculed people who are doing RGB. Now look what he's doing. RGB. Well, I applaud what he's doing. The things that he's doing are interesting. He's been playing around with different cases. He's been bringing equipment onto his table when he says, I have no purpose for this. I have no destination for this. And he said that about this motherboard that he wound up saying he was going to send to me as a computer with the network card thing. He says, yeah, I bought this because I'm interested in the problem that showed up on Doug's channel. And now this one with the entertainment thing. He's got no destination for that unless it goes to Mitch. You're muted. If you're talking to me, Alex, you're muted.
I'm not muted. It's just I have to press the space bar to unmute, so I'm not accidentally picking up stuff, ambient noise and stuff to annoy you.
Perfect. That's good. I thought I saw your mouth moving, so I thought you were trying to talk. So, I love what he's doing, but it's just funny to see that he's got RGB on his table now, when a few years ago he was just ridiculing that. So then, the problem with ransomware is that it lays dormant on your computer for some time, and when you restore it, it can become active again. Absolutely. Now, the first time I learned about ransomware is when a client of mine got hit with ransomware near the beginning of this whole epidemic. So I actually went through it with a client. I didn't know ransomware was a thing when they got hit with it. So it was very early in the whole thing, the whole ransomware.
Can you explain that a little more? Ransomware being dormant? Because all the ransomware videos I've seen, people click on stuff and immediately their files are locked out and they can't get anything without having a backup previously.
Yeah, absolutely. Ransomware, let's say maybe we can kind of put them in two different buckets. There's a ransomware where somebody gets something on their screen, they click on it, and it starts encrypting the files on their computer. Then they get this message up wanting ransom. That in that same bucket is what my client got hit with. Somebody clicked on something. We don't know what they clicked on or who did it. And it was clear that the encryption and ransom message did not appear on their screens until the encryption had been working for several hours, because it had encrypted most of the content on their file server and on the backup drives that were attached to the file server. Not all of the backups there, but a lot of them. So it's clear that the encryption had been running for quite a while before the ransom message popped up on the screen. Now, that's not the dormant. issue so much. Maybe in the sense that it's working in the background encrypting things, but the other type of ransomware that has been hitting is where the hackers, the evildoers, will gain access to a computer system and start exfiltrating data, copying data out, and somebody at a keyboard with a mouse will be exploring through their computer system looking for valuable stuff. So they'll pull out these files, and then they'll do an encryption, and then they'll give a message saying that you're encrypted. So it's dormant in the sense that it's not obvious. They haven't made their presence known, but they have extra tools to ransomware. So like if the company says, oh, it's okay, we got backups, we're not going to pay you ransom. And the evil guys say, yeah, but we got your data, we're going to publish it to the world. We're going to publish all this private stuff to the world. So you are going to pay us. So now I'm not sure if that's what he was referring to about it being dormant. Another thing that can happen is that the ransomware infection can maneuver its way automated, like a virus, through the network to infect multiple different computers, and then perhaps trigger on a certain date and give them a phone number to call. That would be a style where there's not somebody at a keyboard manually maneuvering through the network. So they get one computer infected, and it, over a period of time, finds its way through to other computers, and then maybe there's a trigger point of a certain date or something. Now, I'm not certain if that's what Gary was referring to. He may have some other piece that he's referring to, but that's what I say off the top of my head.
I thought he meant that somebody had to, that the hackers could just put the ransomware in there without somebody clicking on something. But as far as I know, somebody has to click on something before the ransom encryption will start.
Well, okay, no, I'll take an exception to that. The most common type of ransomware that we're hearing about is exactly what you just described, where somebody clicks on something, a phishing email comes through, they click on something and infect the computer. And I think the reason why that's most common is because that is the simple way to infect computers with ransomware, because that gets through all through all filters, all antivirus, all I'm forgetting one of the other words we use to protect ourselves. Shields. It's not the right word. Firewall. It gets through everything if somebody clicks on something. But hackers, highly skilled hackers, they can get into almost any computer. And now the reason why I say this is the penetration testing. There's some podcasts that I listen to that give the stories of penetration testers. Professional penetration testers will be hired to test the security of a company, and they get in almost every time. They can get in. So if the evildoers have their sights on your company or on your computer, and you're a high value enough target, they're probably going to get in. It's very, very difficult. And the hacking competitions where they have come on, give me a name, Alex. What's one of the hacking competitions? There's one that Security Now, Steve Gibson just told about in China, because they're doing their own thing now. China.
I have no idea.
Yeah, China doesn't allow their people to come over. So anyway, Steve Gibson was telling about the success of the Chinese hackers. They're given a challenge to hack into cell phones, or hack into a Windows 10 computer, or hack into this, that, or the other thing, and they're put on stage and they're given 5 minutes to do this. And time after time, they're successful. If they're skilled enough and they know a broad enough range of vulnerabilities, they can get through a lot of protections. And most of that level skilled hackers are either working for the good guys or they're working for government anywhere around the world, spy type level. And when they're trying to access somebody's computer, they're not doing it for ransomware. They're doing it to steal secrets. They steal the secrets. The company or the institution that they hacked into never knows it. Okay, so.
Are you familiar with David Bombal?
David Bombal. I don't recognize the name. What's that?
He does a lot of like Cisco networking videos and things.
Oh, okay. YouTube channel?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it.
He had a video where he showed something, I don't remember what it is, but it was able to, like where he had a locked Windows computer and a locked Linux computer, and he was able to use something to unlock a Windows and Linux computer and make it go to a certain website, make it go to one of his videos on YouTube or something.
Yeah. Oh, here's another one. Steve Gibson, Security Now, in this last episode, he told the story of this high school kid as a senior prank where he did a Rickroll during the last week of school. Rickroll is a video that is, I don't even know the name of the performer, but it's a particular song, and he had hacked into all of the audiovisual projectors through every high school in his school district. So not just his high school. I think there was 8 high schools in the district. He had actually gained access to those to the school administration computers during his freshman year. And he was planning to do this as a senior prank, so quite a while planning for it. But then when COVID hit, he didn't think he was going to get to do it. But then his school came back partially in session, and he did this. And what happened is at a particular time, at the end of a classroom time, every school, every classroom in every high school in his district played this Rickroll. Started with a countdown, and really fascinating story. Now, when I first learned about this a week prior to Steve Gibson telling about it, that was actually because Leo Laporte told about it. I went and researched it, so I had all the same information that
years ago, when I was in high school or middle school, the district had all of their computers and all of their printers and stuff on the same network. So I was sitting in my high school computer lab, and accidentally printed to a middle school printer.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what was going on in this school district, is they were all on the same network, and
because they didn't have any security, they didn't have anything on any kind of VLANs or anything like that.
Yeah.
At the particular time, which this was nearly a decade ago now, or longer.
In this school, they had some of the devices with default passwords, and what this kid did was illegal, and he said that right up front. But he published a 17-page description of how he did it and how this can be fixed. Not published, but he emailed it to the head of the security department 15 minutes after the prank. And because of his cooperation, he didn't get into legal trouble, and they actually thanked him for pointing it out, and they kind of took it with a sense of humor. So let's move on here. Jim says Carrie does RGB because that gets eyeballs. Well, yeah. And you know what? That's why I did a few Windows 11 videos, and I'm probably going to do some more. It does get eyeballs. I'm similar philosophy as Carrie and some other technicians, that Windows 11 is a little overhyped, but for the people that want it, well, I think it's useful to show them ways to get it, be able to do deal with it easier, but the Windows 11 videos get a lot of attention, way more attention than any of my other videos, way more. Zvi says the voice now is not like it used to be with Carrie video, now is clear and perfect. Now I don't quite understand that. The voice now, I just heard a doorbell, somebody's coming in. I do not have the waiting room on, so they'll come right in.
Hello, Jim.
Oh, Jim. Hi, Jim.
Yeah, sorry guys, I had to run real quick, mute the
mute the
audio.
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone else, if you come in, I don't have the waiting room, so you need to remember to mute your video sound. So as V says, the voice now is not like it used to be with Carrie video, now is clear and perfect. So I guess he's saying my audio was not as good with this microphone when I was on Carrie's video. Maybe he's referring to when I had the microphone up there, it wasn't as good as it is now. And that could be because this microphone is feeding into my streaming software rather than going out over the internet to that StreamYard that he was using. It might have made a difference. So Javi is saying my audio is good now. Javi, are you saying, and other people in the chat, you could look, I spent hours today looking at microphones. Should I back off? Do I not need that? Is my audio fine?
Doug, my personal opinion is take a chill pill.
Chill out about that?
Yep.
Because I like that microphone in that position. That's convenient to me.
Then that's what works for you, and don't worry about anybody else. That's my response.
Okay. That counts for a lot. Alex, did you have something to say on that?
I was just going to say I'm only listening on Zoom. I've got the YouTube video muted, but you sound perfectly fine for the past hour I've been on here with you.
All right. Well, I know it hasn't been, bad audio, but yeah, maybe I'd let go of that.
I think with Carrie, it's kind of a situation where I think he liked when the microphone was closer to you on the desk. I think his thing is that you had more low end response, which I think to his ear probably sounds better.
Yeah.
Hi, Gary.
Hello.
Gary Weisenberger, hello.
I think your mic sounds all right also.
All right. Give me a couple more in chat and I'll back off on that. I would love, here the biggest thing for me, I have a whole bunch of different microphones in my cart right now, my Amazon cart, and I was going to buy several of them. And the thing that just kills me on that is the amount of time it just takes to try different microphones. I would love to let go of that.
No. Let it go. Let it go. That's my advice. Let it go. I went down that path myself. Let it go.
All right. Give me a couple.
I eventually had to settle on a particular microphone, but I've gone down that path. I've tried some of the cheap knockoff wireless sets. No. I've tried using just the webcam mics. No. I've tried several different things. I finally settled on the thing that I have in front of me right now, which is a Samsung's it's a C01U.
All right, that means nothing to me, but
yeah, it's just the microphone I finally settled on.
I tried this. I tried to try this one today, along the lesson that we recently came across on my channel. Try the simple thing first.
Yeah,
this one would be so simple that can be in front of me easily. But when I plug this into my computer, my streaming computer wouldn't even recognize it. Give me the exclamation mark. Couldn't find the device driver. I plug it into any other computer here and it works fine. And I think what the problem is, I have so many USB devices connected to this streaming computer. And for some reason, there was some kind of conflict or just couldn't find it.
Hey, Doug?
Yes?
I don't know if they still make them, but you may want to see if you can find, just a regular old 3.5 headset that's got the 3.5 millimeter jack for audio output. And for the microphone, and then get you one of them little cheapo USB audio adapters with those a microphone and headphone plug, and plug that USB, plug it 3.5 into that adapter, and then plug that USB into your computer. I've had good luck with that.
Okay, but if I were to do that, why would I be doing that if this is working?
You wouldn't. I'm just.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
was just-
no, I'm not interested in any other things that I could do. If I don't have, I was thinking about this today. Any choices with computers, it's either due to pain or pleasure. Any change you want to make, it should be because you're trying to avoid or fix some kind of pain, or you're trying to achieve some kind of pleasure, something that you want to enjoy with it. Is there any other reason to change a software or change hardware? I think everything you do has got to be either one of those points. You want something better for pleasure, or you're trying to fix something that's causing you pain. Other than that, don't do it.
I think you're perfectly fine right now with what you're doing.
I like what you guys are saying. My dad had a bad virus on an XP laptop. 2019 had blinking boot virus, but not even his works IT could unhide the files. Viruses back in XT days and before, even a bit in Windows 7. That was just a big deal. We're not having those kind of troubles anymore.
God, now we're all in trouble.
Oh, he's here. Ken Stout.
I'm here.
Hey, Jim, you know who's next?
I'm sorry.
I said, you know who's next?
Yeah, I know. He'll show up eventually.
W.
No, I think Doug hit that on the hammer with the nail. I think he's asleep. He was up all night posting stuff.
Yeah, he had a bunch. He's talking to himself.
He was. You're right.
BW.
One thing I've noticed watching all your videos, or the past 2 or 3, 4 of them, is that it's always the same. 6, 7 people on Zoom, and I thought, well, I might try to get in on that. Sounds fun.
Yes, it is. It is fun, and thank you for that thought, Alex. And let me point out something. This is still kind of early days for my channel. My assumption is should keep growing, right? You, this 6 or 7 that's in here at the beginning. 2 years from now, we're going to be the old crew, and still here. And it might be stiffer competition to get in. You guys here at the beginning are going to have a lot more history. I'd love to have more people coming in, but keep in mind, 6 or 7 people, but I typically only have 10 to 14 people watching. Right now, I got 28 people watching.
Oh, you're on a roll.
Yeah. Now, you know why.
Okay.
Right? You know why. It was me being on that video with Carrie.
Yeah.
The number of people within a couple days, that video had 5,000 views, something like that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's actually coming with the ones you're doing online, or live, I should say.
Say that again, Gary?
I think a lot of it's coming from the live chats you're doing with, like, Vitel, Alex, Martin, Sam.
Yeah.
I think people, they search for it and they go, oh, that sounds
Oh, what are you saying, Gary? When he goes live with me, it doesn't help? Okay.
good. No, I said it does help. I forgot.
I'm calling
thinking-
Blackwatch right now. We're going to have him in here in a minute.
I keep forgetting and thinking you are Blackwatch.
No,
All right.
no.
I got to be nice to anybody that does roses.
You got to do what? Run that by me again.
Be nice to anybody that does roses.
Oh, yeah. I planted 6 of them today that I actually got to root from cuttings.
Okay, we just learned something new about Ken Stout. You planted roses today. Okay.
Well, the long story short is I trimmed roses in August. I put them in a contraption involving plastic, dirt, and rooting powder. Didn't do anything with them. I checked them this week. They all had roots on them, so it was successful. I put them in the ground per some advice I was giving, covered them with leaves, and we'll see if they come up next spring.
All right. All right.
I did that with computers, but it didn't work.
Let me go back to catch up with, let's see. Well, Gary's here now. Moving through the network trigger date. Yes. I don't know what that was in reference to, Gary. Does it matter? Gary?
Yeah, I'm here. Trigger date. Oh,
Yeah, you got a
what
comment here.
happens?
Moving through the network trigger date. Yes.
I
Oh,
must
for
have
the
forgotten.
for the ransomware.
Right. You'll save your backups and you'll put them. You'll say, no, I won't say what you'll say, but you'll have 20 machines messed up. You'll put them back on, and tomorrow they'll get hit again because they have that data out there. Literally, that's happening to friends of mine on
All right.
networks.
All right.
It's, in other words, they're being hit with the date, not so much with the ransom. Well, they're getting hit with the ransomware, but it's based on the date.
Based on the date. Now you had started this with a comment about ransomware sitting idle or
Dormant.
dormant. So what were you referring to in that comment?
Well, let's say that they're on your machine today and you don't really know it, and they have it for Halloween. Just throw it out, and you get November 3rd. You have everything finally back to shape because you went through all your backups. Now, maybe the 15th of November, they do it again from what's already on your machine. And I have a friend.
So it's dormant. You don't know it's there, and then you said you went through all your backups.
Yeah, you've restored all your backups. You're cool.
Why would you be restoring backups if you didn't know there was a ransomware on the computer?
No. You get a hit. Let's say you get hit Halloween, is an example.
Yeah.
Your stuff's all corrupted right now.
Oh, hush up. I'm sorry. That was to my phone.
Everything I know, I hope everything is corrupted. Okay, on Halloween.
All right.
And it takes you a week, let's say, to either pay a ransom or get the stuff back restored. You get everything restored on your server. You reboot. You're ready to rock and roll. And in 2 weeks, it gets hit again because every 2 weeks it's going to get hit.
Okay. Well, that's only going to happen if the ransomware still exists on your computer.
Correct.
So you've perhaps restored data and the ransomware is still there. You haven't found it and cleaned it.
Well, you don't. Not only do you restore data, you restore programs.
Well, not all backups actually back up programs.
Actually, well, we haven't had it happen to us, but we back up programs because a lot of our programs are modified.
Okay. Do you actually take periodic images of workstations?
No.
Okay. So
there's nothing on a workstation that needs to be there. Everything, all of our data is on servers.
But what about programs?
They're all there, but you get hit every day. Not hit, but every day it's checked and you get updated if something changed.
Okay, so your programs are all on the servers?
Yes. Well, they're saved on the servers. They go back to your machine every day. Well.
Oh, okay. Okay, you have group policies that will automatically install software if it's not currently on the computer?
Correct. And as an example, you may have accounting. I don't have accounting. You may have, Jim may have manufacturing. Ken may have distribution, depending on what his authority
well,
is.
Well, sure. Based on their user account, they'll get whatever software has been assigned to them in group policies based upon what group they're in.
And Jim may have Office. Ken may not need Office, so forth and so on. Mm-hmm. But then the programs will be on your PC, Jim's PC, but the data is all on the servers.
Okay.
So we have the master data, master programs are on servers, but you don't touch those except when they change.
Got it. Certainly.
But
that makes sense.
But I'm saying, like I said, I'm just using Halloween because it's next week, I think.
And you want to scare people.
Exactly. Yeah, really. But that corrupts your programs that are on the server that we need. Data, I mean, if I can back up my data, I don't quote care, but the problem is just the programs are messed up. Bring them on. I'm happy. We're all back to be cool. Everything's cool. In 2 weeks, the programs which have bad programs go do the same thing again.
Yeah, and then another clever piece that the evildoers could do is they could put an infection for a Halloween payload, and they could have a different infection at a different location on your systems for another date. So even if you're successful at finding and cleaning the Halloween infection, you still get hit on another date because the hackers had access to your systems and they put in more than one infection.
Exactly. 100% correct. Yeah. I mean, as you were saying about going to it, let's say from email, we're not too worried, or I'm not too worried about it getting people from email. You got to get through our firewalls and our other things. We have actually now we're almost in third form encryption, because we have 2 forms of encryption. And I had said something to you last week. I was implying that you had a cell phone or a smartphone and you get Microsoft Authenticator, and that allows you to the final sign-on. And then when you get in, you begin with the distribution person, you have to sign on to that. So it ends up having 4 sign-ons depending on what you're doing.
Yeah. Hey, you mentioned a cell phone. I got distracted when I was talking about the China hacking competition. One of the things they successfully did on stage was hack into an iPhone 11, a zero-click access for code execution on iPhone 11, zero-click. That's
Scary.
pretty scary.
When I get scared is when I start seeing the 18-year-olds, 7-year-olds doing this.
Right.
At least we know.
Well, the comforting thing to me, the level of hacking skill that it takes to win one of those competitions or even do a penetration testing, a hacker with that level of skill, I don't think is really interested in DougBetts. I'm just not an interesting target to them. And I don't even think any of my clients are. There's one, maybe. The one that I'm working with right now, we're increasing his security, and that's the one I mentioned Mike Smith is helping me with. And it's because the government, Congress, is coming up with new regulations for his industry. That's going to require him to be much higher level of security. So he's going to have to bite the bullet. Let me go catch up in chat, because there's a lot of orange that I haven't got to yet.
Well, on
Chris,
chat. Next week, be sure to join us for Doug's new channel, because he got hacked by ransomware.
Yeah. Hey, actually, something that I considered doing, and I actually did put an invitation to one of the YouTubers that teaches hacker skills. Network Chuck. I sent an invitation to him to collaborate, to invite him to try to hack into my computers. And
I was just about to tell y'all to check him out.
Oh yeah, he's really good. I enjoy his show, and but he never did respond, so that's not going to happen. Which I thought that was kind of a long shot. But let's go back to Orange. I owe the chat room getting caught up. Chris is going to be gone a while, going to get some food. Ken Stout, it works right, whatever that was. He's here now, so I'm not going to ask him what that means. Wintermute says Mike is better today than Carrie's stream. Jeff Ryman, doesn't your Logitech C920 as a microphone too? Yes. Well, I have 3 C920s, and here, I'll show you what that microphone sounds like.
Yeah, I have the 920 is the camera I'm on at the moment. I'm not the audio, but the video.
Yeah. But here you'll catch the difference between that. I'm not sure which one is the right one for me to pick, but here's one. So I think now you're hearing me on the webcam. Did that sound different?
No.
It didn't?
No.
Do I have to click OK here to make that happen? How about that? Is that different?
No.
That's not different?
That's not to my ear.
Only when you raise your voice, it's different, because you go from talking like this to, that's not different? Yeah, then it's different.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds like my wife.
When I've tested this, it was substantially different. So I don't know how you're not. Oh, wait a minute. I know why. You guys are listening through Zoom.
Yes.
And Zoom is picking up my main microphone. The people listening through YouTube, they heard the difference
Okay.
because on Zoom, that didn't switch the microphone. So now
Well,
I'm
I listen
going
to an
back.
AM radio.
Now I'm going back to the Yeti stereo microphone. So people that are not in Zoom will hear the difference. Now I'm back on the Yeti microphone. So people in chat can tell us what a difference that made.
Well, let's see. Out of curiosity, let me see if I can do this through Zoom. Let's see if this is actually going to work. Hang on a second. All right. Now that audio probably did change.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's the 920 versus the Samsung.
Go back to the Samsung.
Yep, 1 second. Okay, now I'm back on the other one.
I'll tell you what, they were both pretty good. Definitely different. I was almost going to say I think the C920 is better, but I'm not quite going to say that.
Yeah, I've tried them both. I've made a lot of audio tests. So like I said, I've been through this before.
If you've made more significant tests than what I just heard, then yeah, you probably have the better.
Yeah, I've gone in OBS and I've done recordings where I switch between all different kinds of mics and so forth and so on. To my ear, the Samsung sounds better.
Okay, I'm going to try again to catch up on the orange. Javi Manor says, don't bother at all. It's unnecessary. I think he's probably referring to the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Where is Rochelle? I have no idea what you're asking for, Saying Goat. I don't know any Rochelle that I can think of. No, I don't know who he's referring to. Chris, that virus my dad has was a boot virus along with botnet. We were getting emails from AT&T about being connected to a botnet network. Emails were legit. Chris, I'm not going anywhere right now. And Chris, it sounds a little heavier on my end with the C920. And Sango, yes, it is different. Oh yeah, so this is when they heard me do the C920. And Jeff heard the change. Oh, geez, get caught up. All right, what are we going to do now?
Oh, I have a story that's kind of like a rewind on this video, the 128 gigabyte boot drive.
Okay.
I got a story.
Go ahead. Can I grab my pillow?
It's not that kind of story. But no, there was a customer that brought in a laptop that they kept saying they kept blue screening. They kept doing all these weird things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Brought the laptop in. I noticed the Steam client for games was on the laptop. And when you turn on the machine, the Steam client couldn't do an update that it wanted to do. Now, anybody want to take a guess as to what was actually wrong with this machine?
Hard drive was too full.
Bingo. You want to guess how much space was left on the drive?
5 gigs.
You're not even close. Keep going lower.
What?
3 gigs?
Less than 100 megabytes.
Yeah.
A gig?
Correct, Doug. Less than 100 megabytes. The thing was, I think the number was 25 megabytes free.
Yeah.
It was astounding. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Oh, and that wasn't the best part. The best part is that the machine was still running Windows 10 1509.
Oh, yeah, because it won't update.
Yeah, it won't update because it's got no room.
Yeah.
Back in high school, we had an old 2003 Windows server. Hard drive was a 74 gigabyte hard drive, and everybody had stored all of their projects on it. The whole class had stored all their projects from all the different periods. And so I think there was like maybe a gig left on the.
Yeah, I was astounded. I'd never seen a drive that full before, ever.
Yeah.
God, come to my house.
I have come across that where there's a problem on a computer and it turns out to be exactly that.
Yeah, so we basically swapped it out for a 256. Had to do the update, which in my case, when I find a machine that's that far out of date, and I've got a video on this, by the way, if anybody wants to look at the channel. When I find a machine that's that far out of date, normally what I'll do is I'll take the latest media creation tool. I'll make the USB thumb drive, stick it into the machine,
Yeah.
and run setup so that it will jump immediately from 1509 to 21H1.
Right.
That's the only way to do it. Fortunately, this was actually, no, I don't even think it was an NVMe. I think it was a SATA M2 drive, if I remember correctly. But either way, fortunately, it went pretty good. It wasn't like I was dealing with any spinning metal where I'd be there for an hour and a half.
Now, when I've come across a computer that is a few versions behind, if I let Windows Update deal with it, what I've seen happen is it will update to the one that the next version that had been failing for a long time. It'll go ahead and update to that, and then the next Windows Update will go skip all the way up to the most current.
Sometimes that it does. Other times I've seen it go, well, let's say, for example, I've seen it go from 1509. It goes up to, it maybe skips over to 1709. And then, I've been through this where it's gone,
Yeah.
Like hours trying to catch up to the latest version. And I've just said, screw that.
Right.
Stuck the thumb drive in it, ran the setup and just let it go.
Yeah. Well, even I think that's a really good way to go. Even if when you first get it over the hurdle, don't even let it install all the stuff that is pending right now. Just go straight to that.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason. And this was something that Paul and Mary Jo were just talking about in the last episode, applauding the accumulative updates. And we didn't have that with Windows 7. We had to go through all those updates when a computer is behind. Yeah, I like the cumulative updates. Yeah, let's see.
Then if you update like that through the different versions, 1704, 21H1, when you update to that through Windows Update, Windows likes to leave a Windows.o folder behind. It takes a whole lot of space.
Right.
So you have to delete. You have to also delete that folder.
Right. It'll eventually delete itself. I've seen times when it doesn't seem to do that properly though. So here's a comment, Chris Garrett. At Kroger, the employees in each store who used email had their own drive on the server in each store. Each store had a server for the store, server for cash registers. I'm wondering, it says the employees in each store who used email had their own drive. It's probably their own share.
Best, no, they didn't have their own drives.
They wouldn't have their own hard drive. They'd probably
Virtual,
have
maybe,
their own drive. Their own drive letter. Typically, what it would be is a drive letter that's mapped to the share that's for them, and so there might be a U drive, and on each person's sign in, that gets straight to their share on the server, and from that folder they can't maneuver anywhere else.
Yeah, but why would they have their email on a drive?
Say that again?
Why would they have their email on a personal drive unless they're saving it, unless you're using POP3 and going into a PST file?
Oh yeah, well I think he is referring to something from the past. Well, he also I still have some clients who have POP configured.
But Kroger has a lot more employees than you're talking about. I think Kroger was up to 20,000 when you go nationwide.
Yeah, but if you have POP email, then you certainly wouldn't want your email stored on a local hard drive because they'd be moving around to different computers. So you store the PST on a server share.
How big's your?
I've done
excuse
that.
me. How big's your PST? Your personally?
Well, some of them get really big, and that can become a management nightmare. But then other people keep them really small. My PST is
16 meg.
Yeah, insane. 16 meg? No, I think it'd be way higher.
Mine's in the gig.
Yeah, I have clients that are in the gig range, and
I mean, I have POP3, and I shouldn't because I'm coming off the server to the POP3, but
Yeah, well, I've been every chance I get, I move them off of POP 3.
I live on POP 3. I
Do
have
you?
to. Yeah, I have to because I check my email on at least 5 different devices.
Yeah.
And the problem with IMAP is if I delete, like for example, if I'm out and email comes in on my phone, I'll look at it real briefly and I go, oh yeah, I'll just get rid of these. I don't need them cluttering up the phone. I'll look at this when I get back at the house.
Yeah.
Problem is if I'm on IMAP and I hit delete,
That deletes it everywhere.
yeah. So
So that
I live on POP 3.
that's your workflow preference.
Yeah, that's mine. Yeah.
Another person would say, if I delete it on the phone, I want it gone from everywhere. I don't want to have to go delete that on my other devices. So that's a
Oh no,
workflow.
I'm on several different email mailing lists. So that
That's
would
the
not
way
work.
I am. But my mom has the issue of because I've got her email synced up on her computer throughout looking on her phone, with IMAP, she can't, like if she needs something from her phone on the computer, she has to email it to me and I have to email it back to her because she can't email it to herself because of the way IMAP syncs.
Really? I think I've emailed to self with IMAP configuration.
Whatever the setup is I have, she always complains that she can't email to herself.
Huh.
Well, is that a work account or a personal account?
Her personal, she uses the ISP's email, has for 20 years.
Huh.
Some ISPs don't want you emailing back to yourself because they think you're up to stuff.
That could be it. That could be some kind of filter or something preventing that from happening. Zavid Manor says a computer with Windows 10 version 1709 will not update at all now because end of date was October 13th, 2020. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. A version of Windows 10 that's no longer supported might not actually do an update.
Yeah, I just posted a link, by the way, to that video that I did, just in case anybody's interested. It's in chat.
Okay. From Chris, it was a share. That's what I meant. Okay, yeah. And each store had a server. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. Actually, several servers, believable. I can only type 200 letters. I could not type it all out. Understood, Chris. You're good. Jeff, your PayPal link really isn't a link. You have to copy and paste into the browser. Really? Oh, that's interesting.
Really?
Oh, okay. Okay, so let me go look at that. Let's see. So he's saying the link on this video, which is over, which one of these is today's?
Here comes confusion.
Hi, Black.
Well,
Yeah, he's right. He's right. It's just plain text in the description. It's not an actual link.
Oh,
He's right.
this is it. This is it. Oh, it's plain text in the description. Here, PayPal me. Oh, I think all I gotta do is put the HTTPS in front of that. Probably. So let's find another place here. I'll just go edit that right now and come over here and then HTTPS// and save. You'll have to refresh your browser before you can see that, I suspect. So I'm going over here right now to verify that. I'll refresh that browser and then scroll down. Yep, there's a link.
Yeah, that worked.
Easy peasy.
Gary, do you not have a camera?
Don't want one.
Just thought I would ask.
Well, he doesn't want us to see his Halloween mask, I think.
Or I've been working from Friday and Saturday.
Let's see. Oh, that's the last orange. And then Jim put faster update method for PCs. Oh, that's a video that you did on it.
Yeah, that's the video I did where I jumped from, I think in the video it was, I jumped, the oldest thing I could find online at the time when I did that video was 1709. That's the oldest Windows version I could find online. I installed that before I actually started the video, and then I did the update directly to 21H1.
Well, you can get older than that from that. What's that utility that you make ISOs from? Um,
Hexidoc or something. I think it's HEIDOC.net or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. But this was before I even knew that existed.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's not the one I'm thinking of. But anyway, yeah, you should be able to go back through all to get all the older Windows 10 versions.
I only know about that one because that's what Uncle Kerry showed on his.
Right, and that's the only reason I found out about it.
Oh, I see. I lost the chat window on this. Oh, here's the chat over here. So come. Oh, I want to show you guys something that YouTube fairly recently did, and I only looked at it today. I'm going to go ahead and pop out this chat so I get it back the way I need to see it, and then let's go to. Let's pick on Carrie and Mitch from yesterday. Not that one. Let's go do that.
Wow, Carrie changed quite a bit.
I don't wanna do that. Oh, you know what? I'll see if it's on mine. Here's under a video that a live stream that's been a little while ago. The 3-dot menu, open transcript. So this is it here? I'm not seeing it. Edit video. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So it just got generated. So there's at 3 minutes and 12 seconds. So after my countdown got done, so I said countdown done. Hello everybody. Just clicking extra button there to get all my computer set up the way I want. This is a full transcript of that video. So if you're ever looking to find a certain place in a video, you can search for words that occurred at that point.
Now, is that only for your input or all input?
It's all audio that it hears. So this one was with me and Vital, so I should be able to find here. Now, so I'm gonna do Control F and search for Vital's name. And here is, well, let's see, this is chat that it's finding his name there. It might not have, spelled his name correctly. So that search might not have got it. Conversation at a time, repeat the clicks I did. Let's see, how are you doing? I'm good, how are you? Okay, so yeah, here, see? This is Vital saying, how are you, Doug? I'm good, how are you? Hello, Blackwatch. So, but it doesn't separate the people. It doesn't identify them by name.
Right.
Yeah.
So I noticed, I believe it was with you, Carrie was every once in a great while putting people's chat comments underneath his name. Was that a StreamYard thing? Or
Yeah,
is that a
that's a StreamYard thing.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Now, I'm sure there are plugins that I could use with my streaming software, XSplit, to do that. But in my mind, it's extra work. This method of just displaying it on screen is so easy to me. I don't. What Carrie's doing is he has to look at the chat message and decide whether he wants to display it.
Right.
Or he just turns them all on, so they all show up on screen time after time. But with this method that I use, I can highlight things. You can see what I'm reading as I'm reading them.
Right.
And it's just really comfortable and easy for me.
Well, the danger with having them all show up is you might get something slip through you don't want to have slip through.
That's true. That's true. And there have been times when you guys have caught that and deleted it, and I go back and look at it, and you know, if it comes up that I have to adjust, then I'll do that. Now, I want to point out something else here: is when you've searched for the topic you want, then this that right here is clickable. So we should, when I click on that, you should see this advance to that point in the video. See, it goes right to it. So if you're going back to a video to look for a certain place in it, that is a fairly new tool that YouTube has added.
Interesting. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, and you get to it from the 3-dot menu down here below, and it won't show up right away on a live stream. It takes a little while before YouTube comes up with it. Now, you saw the delay when that came up. As far as I know, it might have generated it when I clicked on it. It might not generate until somebody actually asks for it. So if I go here to YouTube and then let's, home. This is a convenient way to get to, well, all right, I'll go to subscriptions this way. I'll see when it shows up on the left side, I can get to Carrie's so much quicker. I don't want to do it on there. Let's do it here. Click on this and then home. Yeah, this isn't going the place that I want. I want the one that gives me my subscriptions down bottom left because Carrie's always on the top of that. All right, so here I'll go to Carrie's channel by clicking on his channel icon. And then videos, and then go to, I think this one is the one that I did this morning, I think. Go to the 3-dot menu. I think this will come up really quick. Open transcript. But there it is. A little bit of a delay, not very long. And then a 3-dot menu for there. Toggle timestamps. Oh, it just turns timestamps off. All right, enough of that.
So if there's ever a movie about Carrie's life, he can get Sissy Sysprep to play his character because his name was spelled wrong there. I don't know if anyone caught that or not.
Spelled wrong where?
The transcript we just showed, it was C-A-R-R-I-E, as in the movie.
Yeah, it's going to make those kinds of errors. Yeah, it's probably going to have some really comedic errors, just like when
Carrie wasn't too comedic. It was pretty scary.
Jeff, okay, so he answered that. Watch out for YouTube violation. If you mean copyright violation, it appears that those kind of brief things don't do it.
So, question.
Yep.
I'll raise my hand. Why is it people can do things on, are there different licenses on YouTube? Because I will put a very small snippet of something in and I'll get a copyright violation. While this doesn't go against your account, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. But yet I see things from people posting all the time when they've got full featured concerts of things. Is there a license for that?
Actually, I've looked into this too, Doug. It actually depends on the band. Eagles, you could get Doug's in trouble for me saying Eagles. Frank Zappa, same thing. Beatles,
Queen.
It's going to depend, I think, a lot on the artist, how draconian they want to be about it.
Right.
Does it matter if your video is public or private? Because I've got a couple of unlisted videos, slideshows I've done for church that have copyrighted music behind them, but they're unlisted, so only a handful of people can watch them.
but YouTube can see them.
Yeah, YouTube can see them. Yeah, but have you gotten any strikes?
Couple of them say copyright +1 or something like that. But when I go and click on the video, the audio is not muted. It's still audio is still there.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I've seen that too.
There's different levels of discipline regarding copyright, and it might be that you're seeing that flag as YouTube's way of notifying you that it's a copyright violation, so you cannot monetize it. And if you make it public, they might actually take it down. There's an institution that polices videos for copyright, and I think what the guys are saying about the artists, there may be some artists that maybe don't subscribe to that service that is out there seeking copyright violations. But there's also the fair use policy that YouTube participates in. And so the music reaction videos that you see, where those, and Carrie is a pretty big fan of those channels. There's criteria about that the content creator has to be on screen, and they have to pause the music every now and then and give substantial input
Right.
about that video. They can't just play the music all the way through. They have to be stopping it. They have to be making comments. Now, under the fair use policy, I have contemplated, and I think I could actually play Security Now, a portion of Security Now videos, and add extra commentary about the things that they're talking about that has extra educational value. Now, I'm not saying that I'm have more info than Steve Gibson does. What I'm saying is that sometimes I can translate it into a more normal person verbiage or add some extra comment about it. I've contemplated doing that kind of thing because, in part, because I suspect a fair number of the people who watch my videos, and down the road as my channel grows more, people who watch my videos probably, or a significant portion of them may not be watching Security Now, because you have to be at a different level of consumer of tech content to watch a show like Security Now. Gets deeper into the weeds and such. I have no
Gibson
idea.
isn't a normal.
Pardon?
Sorry. Stephen Gibson is not a normal.
No, he's not a normal, but man, he's a fascinating person. Gary, did you watch the his fireside chat?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very entertaining too.
Oh,
You
it
know.
was amazing. Now, that's not out for public. You have to be a member of their Twit Club to get access to that. But, oh, man, he's had an amazing life history. If I start on that, Gary and I are just going to go too long on it. So that's enough said.
Squirrel.
What's that?
I
Squirrel.
actually used it. Oh, squirrel. He's saying
Yeah,
it has
that would be a
changed
big
stuff.
squirrel. It is just has an amazing background.
Oh, and just to add for copyright violation, some software doesn't want you to show it.
Some software doesn't want you to show it. Oh,
Yeah, their screen.
Oh, okay.
We actually have software that we're not allowed to show unless we're demoing it with you there. Meaning that you're a salesperson or something.
Yeah. That certainly is the case.
Of course, we pay $100 a month for it per user.
Yeah. All right. Where are we at?
I've been waiting on YouTube for us to discuss Sysprep.
Oh,
stuff.
yes. So yeah, Alex has.
Sorry if I'm trying to rush. If you feel like I'm trying to rush you.
No, not at all. I'm very appreciative that you brought me back to that, because so Alex made a comment on one of my videos with Vital.
The last one, I believe, the last one you posted as a video on YouTube.
Last live, yeah. And he's been doing a lot of stuff with Sysprep and unattended XML, and that website in particular. That was the last thing I asked you during this video, is to show me that website. So I'm gonna bring up my browser, and can you guide me to that?
It's very easy. It's just WindowsAFG.com.
WindowsAFG.com. So this is a website for creating the unattended XML, because that thing is
AFG.
difficult.
AFG stands for Answer File Generator.
Right there, AFG. Yeah, I highlighted that, but it's highlights blue on top of a blue background. That
And
wasn't.
you see up at the top, you want to go to at the top where it says desktop, you want to select most of the time you want to select Windows 10 UEFI. If you try to use that UEFI on an MBR system, it will not work. So it has to be specific for the answer file you make has to be specific for UEFI or MBR partition
All
style.
right. So then I have to select a location.
You don't have to. The only thing I did to make it work last night in my VM setup I did was I changed where it says wipe disk. I changed that to file, so it basically not wiped the disk, and I put in I took out their default license key, and I added a username that it could install when. Then I just downloaded it.
Okay, take out the default product key, put in a username. So you can put in a computer name, but you said you wanted to do a random.
If you want to do a random, just take out that -PC and put a star there.
It won't type a star. I'm not getting an asterisk.
You can't. Then you can just leave it blank. Because Microsoft also says that if you don't put a computer name there, you can just leave it blank or put a star.
All right.
Either one.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I couldn't put in an asterisk because I don't have a numeric keypad on this keyboard.
No,
So
I just tried it. I just tried it on mine. It doesn't accept it.
with a numeric keypad.
At least not with the note yet, and it doesn't do it when you do Shift 8, Shift the number 8. It won't accept it.
Yeah, Shift 8 it won't work for me. Do you have a numeric keypad on yours, Jim?
Yes, I do. It doesn't work on that
It
either.
doesn't work that either. All right. Well, whatever.
Multiply.
Organization name, keyboard or input method. Let's change that, shall we? English, United States for me. Currency and date.
You want to make sure that partition setting where it says white disk is on no, because all you want that automated XML file to do is automate the out of box experience, which is beyond the partition stuff. So you want to tell it no on any of the partition stuff.
All right. So network location, I typically use work. Protect your computer, turn on express settings. Turns on express settings, turns on it. There's two choices for turns on express settings. Turns
I don't
on.
know why there's 3 choices there.
Oh, that's protect your computer. That isn't that the
The
reporting?
custom and something like that, I think.
I think
you can
that's
do
for
custom
the.
and-
Okay, only one of us can talk at a time. I think that's for the reporting. The what do they call it? L starts with an L. I think. Oh well, nobody's coming up with that. So hide EULA page, yes. Disable daylight savings. No, I want to keep that enabled. Hide wireless setup in OBE. Yeah, I don't want to do wireless setup. Skip machine out-of-box experience. Skip it. Machine.
Yes.
User. There's a machine out-of-box experience and there's a user out-of-box experience.
Only thing I changed is from there down is the username.
Okay, I'm thinking skip machine OBE. If I say no, does that let me type in a computer name as part of the out-of-box experience?
No, because Windows 10 by default doesn't allow you to create a computer name. You
That's
have
true.
to.
That's true. All right, user out-of-box experience, skip it. I think I don't want to skip this because wouldn't this let me type in a username interactively? I'd rather not type in a username as part of this unattend XML.
I don't know. The way I did it when I was testing last night is I just typed in a computer name and a username just to see if it worked, and it worked.
All right. Well, basically, I'm just looking at what's available here, so that's why I'm looking them over. But this is sweet. I love this because that tool from Microsoft was requiring that I have a ISO image, and I'm wanting to do the Sysprep and back that up to a drive and then be able to restore that to a computer, turn it on, and have it go through only the parts of the out-of-box experience that I want and include whatever I have on that image.
One thing I didn't mention earlier when we was talking about this is the other part of that is after you do the Sysprep and shut it off, make sure you don't turn the machine back on, or it will reinitialize all of the computer-specific hardware stuff. But after you turn it off, after it's done Sysprep and it shuts down, then you can boot up to Macro and Reflect Rescue Media.
Right.
Image it, put it on a flash drive or a hard drive, and then on the other computer you can open up Macro and Reflect and restore it. And then when it reboots, when Windows reloads with that XML file, if it's done correctly, it can load up straight to the desktop.
Yeah. I got that, and that I'm on the same page with you there. Install to disk 012. Oh, a disk number. So it would always be drive 0. Main partition active, yes. NTFS, yes. You could change the name of the partition if you wanted. Drive letter, partition order, 4567. That's curious. Not going to strain about that. Administrators group for the first user, yeah.
Down at the very bottom in very small text, it says download file, so that you may not see. So that's where you download it.
All right. Auto log on. Oh, auto log on. Yes. Huh. This could turn on auto log on even if you put in a password. That's surprising.
I didn't set a password when I was playing with this yesterday, so I don't know about that.
Seen that. User account control by default is disabled. That's surprising. Output. You may choose to create auto unattend XML file automatically by clicking download file. Ensure you select all the text below and copy to word processor. Place this file in the root of a USB drive and come back to a fresh install Windows. Now, something I'd want to do differently here is this is using a USB drive method. If you take, from what I read, if you name the file unattend.xml and put it inside the C:\Windows\Panther folder, when it goes through the out-of-box experience, it's going to look for unattend.xml in that location, which means you don't have to use a USB thumb drive that has this file.
I don't know about that folder, but I know it works when you put it in the Sysprep folder. If you run a command to execute Sysprep, like instead of going through the GUI, if you actually go to command prompt and run a command to execute Sysprep, you can tell the command prompt, one of the commands in there is telling Sysprep to use unattend, that unattend.xml file and where the location is, which is how I did it.
Okay, gotcha. That method is telling us, this method is telling us to put on the root of the USB drive.
That assumes that you want to do that website assumes that you want to do a fresh install, not a Sysprep. install.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because this is just an answer file. This is not an answer file specifically for Sysprep. This is just an answer file. Could be done with just any fresh Windows 10 install. So then this is the actual. So all the choices we made are coded into this. And
Correct. Or you could just click on download file so you don't accidentally.
Okay, let me finish my thought. So all the choices we made make changes here. As I was reading through all this the stuff about unattend answer file, one of the things I was getting frustrated with, and I think I mentioned that, is that I saw in several places comments that saying there's many ways to create this, and then they would only all show one way, and it was that method using that tool where you had to have an ISO file, and no place did I find instructions for how to create it manually, but they would say you could. Now this is, I was kind of suspecting that you could type it out manually, but it's really, really difficult to do. And here I see why.
That Windows SIM tool or whatever they call it, that's really difficult. That's the reason why I pointed you to this website.
And this is great. This is great. So now one of those choices that I made, let's see where I didn't do anything real specific, but I want to change something and see it change this text. So let's go up here and do, what was it? Computer name. Put in a computer name. Let's see. Alex's. Wait a minute. Did I do that right? Do that right? Yeah, that's right. I can't do an apostrophe. Alex, computer. Can't do a space. All right, so now does that put that in down here? Just that quick. I'm going to try Control F. Search for Alex. Finds it in 2 places. Yep, here it is. So you make a choice, change up
I can't
there.
see it. It's not showing on the video.
Thank you. You're the only one that spoke up about that. Ken, you fell asleep. Tim, Gary.
I'm keeping chat going for you guys.
Oh, you
Black
got
Watch is
chat.
gone, so
All right.
Chris and I took it upon ourselves.
All right. So yeah, that put it into here. Thank you, Alex. How long did I not have that? How long was I not showing it?
Not very long.
Only like a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, did I even show typing in the computer name?
Yes.
No, I don't think I saw that either.
Okay.
Yeah, he did that because he questioned whether he was doing it right or not.
Oh yeah, when I questioned if I was spelling your name right.
Yeah, and then for some reason you jumped back to Zoom, and then you were there for about a minute. So Alex, do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, sir, I do, and it's just my name. I have an unlisted video on my YouTube channel that talks about our school domain setup and all the network gear we set up and all that. I could share that link in the chat since it's unlisted if y'all want to watch that.
Doug's getting it. I'll catch it from him. I'm horrible at finding people with their names. That's just.
Is this? Do you see it on the YouTube?
That video that I'm talking about is not on my it's not public. It's unlisted. But so I could put that link in the chat.
Yeah, put that link in the chat. Have I made you a moderator yet? You have to be a moderator to do that. Go ahead and type something in chat so that I can make you a moderator.
Another question. Yesterday during during Carrie's stream, somebody popped in with the name John Goodman and it had the actor's picture. Was that the real actor, you think, or is that someone pretending to be?
No, that's somebody screwing around.
Okay, I'm supposed to tell Jug to change the language from Zv. I can't say your name. Zeev says, tell Doug to change the language.
Okay, I see that.
That's the language that you'd like us to use.
I thought I did change that. What else have I missed?
Yeah, he's out bird watching, all right.
I never finished Kerry's stream where he's working on that computer for you from Chris. Yeah, it did not work. It actually did an electrical short, spark.
That board has many issues apparently.
Yeah. It doesn't look like that's going to work. And I'd really love to see Savin from Computer, what do you call it? Computer Repair School YouTube channel. Take a crack at that, but Kerry checked into it, and the shipping back and forth is just more than the board is worth. So it doesn't look like that's going to happen unless we use somebody that does component repair in the United States. Their channels are so huge, much bigger than Savin's. Somebody can remind me the names that I'm not thinking of right now. Mostly they do cell phones, but they do occasionally do computer. So Chris, my HP Elite 8300, the factory image, has tools for deployment on other computers. HP Elite is a business model. Okay, interesting. Am I caught up?
Probably the only HP worth buying, quite frankly.
Oh, language, English, us. Let's see. Sangoat, he bought Bertum's used board. Oh, Bertland. I think his reference to Bertland, that motherboard, that computer that Bertland Hope was building for his client that they had trouble with. Was that the same model board? Yeah, Electronics Repair School. Thank you, Chris. That's what I meant for Savin. I think I'm saying his name right. Okay. What was I trying to get back to? Oh, the language. Here.
So, Jim, you think that was just someone being funny?
Yeah. I mean,
Probably.
look at the picture that I have. It's Austin Powers. Come on.
Right.
Are you sure you're
What?
Austin Powers?
You're not Austin Powers? Oh, I gotta go.
Oh, here's the language.
No, I'm the other guy. $1 million.
You're the bald guy.
There you go.
In Spaceballs, it's
Mike Myers plays all of those, don't he?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Especially, what is it? Fat bastard.
yeah. Get in my belly.
Get in my belly.
Okay, so then here's the download file that Alex was telling us about instead of
I
copying
posted that link. I posted that link to my YouTube video in chat. Can you see it, Doug?
I haven't made you administrator yet. Where is your? Oh, here.
There
you
he
are.
is. I see him. He's there.
Yeah. So let me make you moderator here. Add moderator. Okay, go ahead and post that again because it didn't come through when you weren't moderator. Let's see.
There it is.
Mountain biking kid 6 watches Soren's repair school. Yeah, and he's kind of in the same line of Kerry and I, in the sense of people working in the industry showing the actual work. And of course, a different style of video, just like Kerry and I are different styles in each other. So here's Alex. This is the unlisted video.
Yeah.
So you have to have this link to get to the unlisted video. So is it okay, Alex, if I put this into the description of this video
Yes.
so that other
is
people
fine.
watching later can find it?
That is fine. I just didn't want random people that I didn't know about finding that, because video was made originally for just for school people at college. But I've since given it to people on my resume. It's on my resume, so anybody that I interview with a job can watch it.
So you have comments turned off. Is that because you were getting some bad comments, or you just forgot to turn them on?
No, that's because YouTube has a setting, made for kids or whatever. And if you have that setting turned on, it will disable comments automatically. That's not because I don't want comments on there.
Oh, so you have it enabled for kids?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Got it. This link is for Alex's unlisted.
Glad I'm not the only one that talks when I type things out.
Described.
Oh, you should hear me when I'm working on stuff.
Tough room. That didn't give me anything.
You seriously should be around here if I'm working on something. You want to talk about somebody who talks to themselves?
You know what I find is interesting? I mean, we all know I stream quite a bit. We all know I talk quite a bit when I stream.
No.
Believe me, I know.
Say it isn't so.
Oh, it isn't so, lad. But I cannot stream, text, and type at the same time. Figure that out.
Sounds like Blackwatch.
You know,
Is this it, Alex?
That's the video. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The guy
Okay.
standing behind me is my former instructor.
All right. Unlisted. All right. Very good.
You may not want to watch it because I do most of the talking, but
my son calling you, Doug?
No. This is my brother, my oldest brother in Minnesota just received a coffee mug. His birthday is today. He just received this coffee mug from one of my other older brother.
Oh, nice.
So made in 1947. Oh, I've got a couple of those made in shirts that I bought for my 60th birthday. Made a nuisance of myself on my 60th birthday to anybody I saw. And what does the mug say? It took like my brother number 2. It took like 3 weeks for the mug to get there. They said it would arrive. Oh, that's weird. They said it would arrive sometime between November 1st and November 25th, something like that. So it actually got there early. I can't tell what's on it though. As long as I'm showing family during this YouTube live stream, I also got this photo from my daughter. That's my grandson
Yeah, nice.
my grandson out on a basketball court, and then actually taking a shot. So we'll hold on to that for family
That's mine.
history.
That's ironic that you have the same ringtone for one of your family, your brother. I have that same ringtone for my son because he did a Jason Halloween thing. And I thought, well, that kind of goes in cahoots with that picture. And I've yet to change it.
Wasn't that
Everybody
ringtone the fire alarm
Oh, I don't remember.
that I had?
Okay, here we go with ringtone wars.
Yeah.
Oh no! I've already given mine once.
Step away from the ringtones.
far as I know, everybody that has an iPhone, if they haven't changed the ringtone, everybody has the same ringtone. And I've only found it on iPhone. So whenever I hear that ringtone ring, I know it's somebody has an iPhone.
All right. And they haven't changed it. Did I get through everything about that unattend XML, Alex?
No, sir. There's a couple more things I need to tell you about that.
All right. Let me go back to it.
I don't know, Doug. Maybe you just ought to just yell at the phone. Silence! I kill you.
I did silence it. You know, I stopped silencing it when I was relying on you guys to, on Gary and Aaron to send me a text if I messed up on my buttons. But when you're here on Zoom, hopefully you can notice that. At least Alex will.
Yeah, there you go.
I was the kid that sat up at the front of the class so I knew, you know.
And you told the instructor when he did something wrong, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
when-
what else? I'm
when
back
you
here.
down-
I'm back here on.
If you click on the download file button, the file name it uses to name the file is unattend.xml. What you want to do is, if you're using that with Sysprep in the command line, like I was talking about earlier, what you want to do is rename that to just unattend.xml. And then if you go and you Google search, if you Google search how to use unattend.xml with Sysprep, like the very first listing on Google should give you a command. You want to take that command, open an elevated command prompt as administrator, copy paste that command in there, and then once you're done doing all the changes that you want to do to that fresh, clean Windows 10 install, then you run that command, and it will automatically do the Sysprep with the unattend answer file, provided you put that unattend answer file in the C Windows System 32 Sysprep directory prior.
Okay. So Sysprep folder, not the Panther folder?
Correct.
All right. So is it this one here? Answer files unattend from Microsoft?
You have to type it in exactly like how
Okay.
you have to type it into Google like exactly like how to use unattend.xml with Sysprep, and then that will give you the command.
Oh, it's in the next suggestion. Okay, start, run, type the following command.
Just copy paste that command into a notepad or something so you have it, and then then when you're done, you just copy paste that command into command prompt, press enter, and it will take care of the rest. It will shut down. Then you can macro and reflect to clone or to image, and then when you boot up another computer, you boot up to Macrium, and then when Windows boots, it will acknowledge the unattend.xml and boot up directly to the desktop, provided you have set up the unattend XML file correctly. Is that clear enough? Did I explain that good enough?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you did. And I recorded it just in case I need. Duh. Yeah, that's good. So now my mind is going back to the comment from Javi Manor about why do this instead of cloning, and my response now, I think, is because this is looking easier, simply because you don't have to go change. Well, Windows 10 doesn't do computer names anyway.
Well, my thought is
the user account.
If you do it the way I did it, completely from start to finish, if you do a clone, if you've got multiple different brands or multiple different models of computers, if you do a clone, you keep having to do it. Well, this way you can do an image, and if you do it the way I start to finish, the way I did it with no drivers or anything, when you're finished, Windows 10 will automatically pick up the drivers and the license key from the motherboard, because all new systems 2012 and newer have the activation key for Windows baked into the motherboard.
Well, if you're buying a brand name computer, not if you're buying parts and assembling a custom computer.
Well, right.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, when I did it at school, I didn't have to, because all the computers were Dells.
yeah.
I didn't have to. I didn't.
But you can do that with an image. You can do that with, now I'm using the word cloning and I really mean image. When I'm gonna clone from one computer to another, I always do it. I make an image to an external drive because I want to keep that image. So if I restore that to multiple different computers, they're going to be fine with the activation key because they're going to pick up the activation that's built into that computer that I'm restoring to. And Windows 10 is going to install the drivers that it detects as the computer is starting up. What do you mean, Alex, when you say without any drivers? I'm not aware of any way that you're going to create an image that's not going to include the drivers that are on the computer that you're making the image from.
All I meant was when I did this at home, I set up a VM at home, made the image, took the image to school. And so what I did when I set everything up, installed all the programs, I just had a vanilla Windows 10 image with only the drivers Windows 10 has baked in. I didn't install.
Okay, you didn't install branded drivers. Okay, gotcha.
Because I knew these are Dell. I knew all of these are Dell computers, similar models, and Windows 10 would pick up all the drivers that those particular computers needed.
Now, something I had in mind is I'm interested in creating an image and putting into a folder the installation media or program or maybe installer stub for the Dell driver.
You could do that with this method, 100%.
Let me finish. Yeah, because I want to get it all out there. Not everybody else is reading my mind the way you are. So let me finish. The Dell driver installers and the HP driver installers and the Lenovo driver installers. I'd like to stick all those installer stubs into a folder, not necessarily install those drivers, then make the image. Now, the second alternative for that is to actually use the Dell driver installer, make an image from that computer, restore that to an HP computer, run the HP driver installer, make an image from that, restore it to a Lenovo computer, run the driver installs for that, and then make an image of that. Now the image that I have actually has all the more updated drivers available, and I'm wondering if I then install that to any of those three brands, won't Windows 10 automatically use the most appropriate drivers that
yes, I would believe so.
So you're agreeing that might work?
I would believe so because all the other drivers, like for the Lenovo's and HPs and stuff that doesn't apply, would just be there just taking up space. It just wouldn't be acknowledged by...
Space is cheap.
Just wouldn't be acknowledged by the system because it's not needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we're thinking along the same lines here.
Okay. So let me go catch up here. So I know JV has chimed in just very recently there on this topic about Sysprep. So I'm going to get to his comment. CERN from Electronics Repair School does not do it live. I've seen him do live occasionally. I'm pretty sure I've seen him do it live. Certainly live recording because he'll get interrupted for phone calls, but I think I've seen him interact with chat room. Still not convinced that Sysprep is needed. 4th step after image restore, change computer name, put key license. Don't need to do key license if it's baked into the motherboard. Add new user, delete the other user. So I'm still, this is still very much on the table for me, what Javi is proposing, because it is simpler to just create an image and restore it. And until he brought this subject up in that last live stream, I was still stuck in Windows 7 mode. And in Windows 7, you try to restore an image that was created on a different model computer, even if it's the same make, just did not go well. But Shavia's been doing this a lot, from what I understand. It's a routine, it's a regular thing for him. So that's still very much on the table for me. That's true for most consumer HPs. This is okay for Jim. Consumer level people. So I see all the low end. Okay. French there. All right. Did we get through it all, Alex?
I believe so.
Okay. That was awesome. That was awesome. I'm so thrilled to now have a way to do the unattend XML, because it gives me the ability to try both modes. Both
The command is the command that you were looking at is a command that has like /generalize, /shutdown, and all of that in it. That's because that's the proper command.
All right.
I just want to make sure you have the right one, because if you don't put that command in right and something happens, and like the most important thing about doing Sysprep is you do not, once it's done, you do not want the system to reboot at all.
Understood.
Unless you're rebooting into Macrium to make a image of it.
Yeah, but then you're booting off of a USB. If you boot off of the hard drive after you run Sysprep, then it starts doing. Now, I take a little bit of exception to that, because I have had occasions with a computer that I purchased off of Amazon. When I turn it on, it's going to go through the out-of-box experience. There's a point during that I can exit, that I can abort it and shut it down, and then the out-of-box experience will still run. But I think that's probably not a good idea to image it after having done that. So I think you want to be careful too.
Well, on a particular computer, on any particular computer, you can only I heard that you can only run Sysprep like a couple times or whatever. You don't want to run it like 10 times on one computer, because it on one image, because it messes with things.
Well, I recall seeing a limit of 1,001. Limit for running Sysprep. Let's see if we get some. Oh, this says 3 times. The 3 times rearm Sysprep limitation is applied because when you run Sysprep, you reset the period limit of 30 days to activate your Windows copy. Well, that sounds like if you're dealing with a custom built where you don't have a hardware activation key. You reset the limit period 30 days to activate your Windows copy. That might only apply in custom builds. Yeah, right here. Here's the 1001. Generalize a Windows installation. 1001. Here, you can run Sysprep command up to 1001 times on a single Windows image. After running Sysprep 1001 times, you must recreate your Windows image. So there's some oddballs there. Now this is Windows 8.1 and Windows Server 2012. So that article is a little old. But this says October 2021. Yeah, so anyway, you might run into an issue.
Here's an issue I had at college that you might think is a little interesting.
Go.
I couldn't get the any of the computers, the particular computers in one room, because it was all Dell Optiplex, like really old, like 3rd and 4th generation, like Dell Optiplex 9010s or 9020s. I couldn't get them to boot up off of the network and even see the server or anything at all. I couldn't even get it to Pixie boot. I had to update or even it wouldn't even attempt to boot up using UEFI. I had to update the BIOS on like 20 of those machines, and that was the fix. After that, I was able to everything was able to work.
All right.
With machines that old,
Hey,
at least with those Dells, you may want to update BIOS because it may not detect your network or
Okay.
whatever.
that term generalize, do you know what that means?
Yes,
Go.
that means take all of the hardware specific parameters out of the image, like say your computer name, your MAC address, all of that type of stuff. It takes all of that stuff out, so it's just a basic Windows image with nothing hardware specific in it. That's the reason why you do not want to let the Sysprep reboot back into itself after it's done, because if it does, it will reinitialize all the MAC address and everything like that.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, and that makes me then question, is that a difference between doing a Macrium Reflect image without doing Sysprep and restoring it to another computer like Javi's been doing?
Yes.
And, but
think that's
he's
a
been doing
difference.
that successfully. So the fact that the image has hardware information from the original does not seem to be causing him a problem.
I don't know in his particular case, but I'm just letting you know that's what generalized does, is take away all the
That's
hardware
what it
information.
says. Okay, that's what it's documented to say, I suppose you might say. Okay, then Javi has another comment. In Windows 7, I used to restore with Acronis Universal Restore. Okay, so yeah, Acronis has something called Universal Restore, where it's designed within their software to restore to different hardware. So I suspect it probably accomplishes that generalize concept.
I think I've heard about that, but I've never used it.
Yeah,
I've always tried to use like Macrium Reflect
yeah.
or even like Clonezilla, even though that's a command line. That if you're comfortable with the command line, Clonezilla also works. But I just try to stay with the free stuff.
Yeah, well, Macrium Reflect has an advanced button, and I showed those tabs the other day, and I haven't looked through all of that, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's something there for this universal concept, or maybe during the restore there might be something. So Aaron Werner, what do you think of Windows 11? Oh, well, I've got some videos out on Windows 11 already, and I think I'm going to do some more. I don't have any reason to recommend my clients to go to Windows 11 yet. I like it down the road after it's got more bugs and compatibility issues resolved. I think for most of my clients, we're probably going to be replacing their computers with computers that have Windows 11 pre-installed rather than doing upgrades, because we have plenty of years to do that. For anyone who just wants it, it's there. I want it. I gotta have it. That's fine.
Knock yourself out.
If you want
Knock
to
yourself
knock
out.
yourself out.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody at this point until at least the first major service pack comes out.
Yeah.
Actually, I have nothing to complain about, but I'm running it, and I'm running Windows 10, and I'm running Linux all on one with the virtual server going. But I've had no errors. I must be the weird one, but I'm running compilers, I'm running tests on SQL, I'm doing enough Word documents a day to choke a horse.
Yeah, but you're in a business environment. I'm talking about from a consumer level.
No,
From a
but I've
consumer
never had a
level,
problem
they
there,
shouldn't.
which
I don't
scares
think
me.
they should touch it.
I don't either, but I've had no problem. That's the problem.
What
It's like
a comment
it's like
I
we're
made,
on the. I'm sorry.
a comment I made earlier about pain and pleasure. Go to Windows 11 if it gives you pleasure to do so, but there's no
I'm waiting
reason
for
to go to it because of pain.
I'm waiting for the pain. Is the problem,
You're waiting for the pain of 11? Oh, well, yeah.
and I haven't had any. That's
No, you probably won't. You probably won't. But just because you're not having pain with 11 that's not a reason to advise
Agreed.
somebody to go to it. If they're not having pain with Windows 10 and they don't view Windows 11 as giving them pleasure, if it's not going to take them away from pain or take them to pleasure, then there's really no point in doing it. Now, one of the things that I'm hoping and expecting is the security point of view with Windows 11. I think it will continue to become a greater benefit security-wise on a global sense. Maybe for the individual, but more on a global sense. I'm suspecting that it's going to give Microsoft more tools to be able to fight against the evil people on the internet. And I'm not going to go through all what's already there for that. But I mean, if an individual was concerned about their own security, about somebody of a hacker level skill set going after their computer, focusing on them, then they might want to go to 11 and implement the security capabilities. Now, with the governments plural, going after ransomware actors, going after the big organized crime efforts with ransomware and hacking, it could be the case that down the road, when big crime has a harder time doing their thing with computers, then the criminal activity for computers is going to be on the smaller level. If it's easier access for the criminals to go after the small guy than it is to go after the big guy, then they're going to go after the small guy.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think Windows 11 is going to put us in a position where we can have better protections.
I think Microsoft sold a lot of that, if you know what I mean. And I will say one thing that I've heard a little bit with ransomware as an example. I've heard the example, a couple of them, but one that I like. If you leave your door open, it's your fault. And they're looking to start questioning the ransomware people the companies with, did you leave your door open? So if you have 1,000 employees, they're going to say, well, what is your hardware? Because if you have a public company, that's where they're going to come down on you.
Right. And if you have a company, if you're in a business that has security regulations, or I have at least one client that I know for certain, and I'm pretty sure a couple others that have ransomware insurance, and we have to go through a questionnaire every year.
At least.
And that's going to get more and more strict as to what they want. I suspect it'll get more and more strict as to what the ransomware insurance requires you to have. And there's this client that I mentioned earlier that Congress is currently considering legislation that's going to tighten the regulations on their industry. So my client is proactively having us move forward with improving his security.
Well, you never know when they come to the door and say, and you can always, like you said, be proactive and say, look what we've done.
The trade schools, trade schools, the other word for it, the private university type things they call them, they're doing more security training. In fact, Tim Sowell that you've seen on my channel, he's apparently he's into that now, to take working towards that security certification.
So you mentioned Windows 11. I'll tell you when I plan on putting Windows 11 on my computer. November 1st, 2025.
I will be, from what I've been told from Microsoft, and this is open, that a year and a half they're giving it, and then after that they will be charging for it. It will not be like it will not be like Windows 10, I've been told. Because look at how many Windows 10 they basically gave away.
Well, to the charging for the operating system is really a small amount of revenue for Microsoft's overall revenue.
Yeah, they don't make a whole lot of money off of Windows itself. It's all the other stuff that they have.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they have 1 billion users of Windows at $50 a user.
Well,
That's
it's a
$50 billion.
big number to individuals, but to Microsoft's total revenue with their, was it 3 different divisions they have? I think it is, and Windows is a piece of one of those divisions. Until recently, the director, whatever his name is for Windows, didn't even have a seat at the inner circle of the leadership of Microsoft. It's just not a big focus for the money from them. They want to keep the operating system the number one system in use, but it just doesn't have that much revenue potential for them. So, but here's here's the piece that I want to put in with this conversation. I was just thinking about this the other day. There's so much fervor from some people that are loud, that I want Windows 11. Why can't my computer get Windows 11 and so forth? But when we went from Windows 7 to Windows 10, I was fighting against it.
Everybody bitched. Everybody did.
Okay.
I know.
So here's why Microsoft was jamming that down our throat. We were having computers that were automatically upgrading from 7 to 10, and that
was hard to block too.
It was hard to block. Now with Windows 10 to Windows 11, they're not forcing it down our throat. They're saying, yeah, but you can't have it. Your computer's not good enough. So it's this thing that's being taken away from us, and now
reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Psychology.
So when did Windows 10 first come out?
2015.
2015 sounds right. Yeah,
2015.
So it took me 5 years to get Windows 10.
Yeah.
Well, I installed it when it first came out.
Say again, Alex.
I installed it when it first came out, but I don't plan on doing it with Windows 11, because to me, Windows 11 is the same as Windows 10, just with more bugs and different icons, like they kind of do with different Android Android systems.
There's so much usability features that have been changed. The UI's been changed. The start menu can't be resized. Just all this weird stuff that's going on with it, which is why I say wait till the first service pack comes out next year.
But I said the same thing from 7 to 10. There was changes that came along in 10, and the ways that I was used to doing things in 7 just weren't there anymore. And I still am cheating the Windows 10 methods. I don't go to Windows Update the way that it's designed within Windows 10. I don't go to the gear icon and then update. With Windows 7, I could not even have a hard time remembering it, but it was a different path that I would use to get there. And then also with Windows 7, I could right-click on the My Computer icon to get to Device Manager. I can't do that with Windows 10. It doesn't work the same way. And I don't even think at first Windows 10 could right-click on the Start button and get direct to Device Manager. So the ways that I manage and adjust computers with Windows 7, I couldn't do with Windows 10. Well, now I'm comfortable with the ways to do anything that I want to do in Windows 10, but a lot of things I'm not doing the Windows 10 way. I'm using
Windows 7 way.
Yeah. Well,
Be sure to join us in 2 weeks for Doug's newest channel after Microsoft shuts him down for not doing updates properly.
Nobody does updates.
Well, I was going to interject a while ago. Updates? We don't need no stinking updates.
I do updates.
Yeah, I do them when they come through. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
I did updates when I did all these school computers. I did the updates for like the first couple of days or a week or whatever, and then I said, forget it. I just left the computers, on whatever they was on, and they're still on whatever they was on unless the new instructor has updated them since I left.
Never.
Now, the reason
At
why
least 2 weeks.
the reason why I go into Windows Update, hang on a moment again. The reason I go into Windows Update is to check and see if there was a recent update that caused the problem. If I got a computer that's having a problem, I'll go into Windows Update to check update history and see if there was a recent update that caused the problem.
See what the catalog was. Yeah.
Ken, were you trying to?
Yeah, Bill Sony TT3 is asking you to join with see if he can join the Zoom. I thought I'd let you address that.
Oh yeah, so send
5:42 my time, 3:40 your time.
Send me an email, Bill, DougBetts at LiveWindowsTraining, and I'll send you the credentials. And if you've already sent the email, I'll go just say so in the chat, and I'll go look at it. So that's
the biggest shocker that I ever got was the first time somebody brought me a laptop with Windows 8.0.
Yeah,
that was a shock. First time you see that.
Holy. I was like, how do you do anything with this thing?
I got a 2013 laptop in October with Windows 8.0 still on it, but thankfully Windows 8.1 had just came out or was available to install. But the biggest thing with Windows 8.0 is nobody could find the power button in my experience.
Right.
And so that's when I started using Classic Shell.
Yeah.
And I'm still using it on Windows 10 to this day.
Well, now I was gonna add another piece to that, adding one step further for what Jim was saying. First time coming across Windows 8.0, and then coming across a Windows 8 computer that has some kind of a shell to make it look like Windows 10 to the end user, but when you start trying to make adjustments, go into settings or control panel, it's where is it? And you hit the Windows key and it goes over to the Metro screen. So there was an occasion when I went to a computer, it looked like Windows 10, and I hit the Windows key, and all of a sudden I get the Metro screen. I go, what is this? Because I had no idea it was Windows 8. And then how do you get back to the normal desktop? It took a while to figure that out. Let me catch up with chat.
Talk amongst yourselves.
David Ice, I don't like the way they redid the taskbar. Yeah, I hate the way they did everything to it. Even if I move it to the left, still don't like it. Agreed. Now I'm holding out a little bit of hope. Like they took away all the stuff from the taskbar. If I come down here to my taskbar and right click, get all this stuff here. But on Windows 11, you get one item, I think, is when you right click on the taskbar. I don't remember what it was. But if that means that they've taken the approach of reducing the size of the Windows 11 program, the operating system, if they've taken away, instead of having 6 ways to do everything, if they've taken away things to make that smaller and make it run zippier and make it less complex, so maybe less things get broken, then I can say, okay, I'll figure out how to work around it. Let's see, going down further, that was 334, looking for orange. I noticed this from Javi. Soren is a nice guy with excellent knowledge of electronics. I also like Northridge Fix, short videos with good explanations. Thank you for that. Chris, if you already did the free upgrade Windows 11, will they charge? No, I don't buy that at all.
No.
In fact, I don't see information coming from individuals within Microsoft I don't trust. Information coming from Microsoft at all about what they're going to do in the future, I don't trust. We'll get there when we get there.
Exactly.
It could change.
Tomorrow.
Anything. If they tell you the earth is round today, that could change.
What's weird about it being flat?
We'll say that again.
Isn't it flat?
Well, maybe that hasn't really been hasn't been resolved yet. I think it seems like I had a conversation with someone recently that was just couldn't believe that there are large amounts of people that are still saying the Earth is flat.
Large amounts of people that don't know better.
And lots of other things, we didn't go to the moon and whatever else. Let's not go down that.
Actually, what was the horizon when you were flying?
Say again?
When you were flying, isn't there a horizon that you can't see past?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm not a pilot, but 20 miles or something, and it looks like there's nothing there.
Well, it's hard to say how far you're seeing, because when you're looking at things far away, they get tinier and tinier and tinier. So how high up you are makes a difference, because you're seeing at an angle. And in Fresno, usually the reason why you can't see farther is because the air is smoggy. I can see mountains when I got a good clear air day. I can see mountains that in some instances might be beyond the horizon, because if I can't see ground level past the horizon, I could see mountains that go up to altitude past that point. But can I tell how much of the ground I can see at that point? Well, I'd probably have to be using a telescope to figure that out.
This is true.
Yeah,
I'm talking sea level though, but joking with you, of course.
Yeah, well, it's somewhere geography and math, or geometry and math, will say how far out could I theoretically see the horizon before the curvature of the Earth prevents me from seeing it. I don't know what that point is.
I think it's just a little over 10 miles.
Oh, I don't know. I would think it'd be a lot farther.
Is this going to be the same Zoom info for the next Zoom meeting?
Yes, until we get somebody that abuses it. And
Yeah, but it's through an email, so who could abuse it?
it's highly unlikely. So I'll keep these credentials, and I don't know of any reason why I would need to change it. But back when I was publishing the credentials in the chat room,
I did that once.
Yeah, did that. Well,
Yeah.
I did that a few times before it became a problem. And
I don't have the paid version of Zoom, so I'm limited to 40 minutes, which they extend a few times. But I had about 2.5 minutes to go, and all of a sudden there was like 35 people joined us, and I thought it was funny. Nobody was vulgar. It was just funny. So
One day.
You were there, I think, Gary, weren't you?
Yeah,
I know I was there.
How many did you say joined?
At first it was one guy said, "Hey, I'm not going to bomb your channel," which I should have caught that. And then it was probably realistically up to 10 people.
All right.
And they were. I personally thought they were funny. And again, there was nothing overtly vulgar or overtly insulting whatsoever. But I mean, we were running out of time, so that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Darren, yeah, I have to put the shameless plug in for my channel, which I haven't snuck in yet. I'm working on it. But
all right, go ahead.
No,
You got to be more slick, then. You got to be more slick.
I know. I got to figure out how to put that in there incognito. Ken Stout live at youtube.com. Gosh, the room got quiet.
Those other videos on my channel that are public, by the way,
Jim.
are those other videos. If you just search my name, those are the videos that are public in my channel, or me messing with technical support scammers and VMs years ago. So if you want to watch those, be my guest.
All right,
Hey,
thank you.
Are you going to put those? Does he want you to put those on your channel, or just for you to look at them?
I don't understand the question. Say again.
Are you going to keep his videos just private for you to look at, or are you posting them?
His videos.
Didn't he just
He's got private. I think he's got public. I just subscribed. Let me go see if he's got public videos or not.
Yes, the public videos are me or technical support scammer that I put in a VM and just play with them. I kept him on the phone for like an hour and did that like 5 times.
All right.
Yep, there you are.
So Gary, you were asking about Alex's channel?
Yes.
In regards to, I put up the, I pasted a link for that unlisted video. So are you asking me to paste a link for his channel?
Yes, please.
Yeah, certainly.
Hey, Gary.
Yes,
ask him to post a link for my channel while you're at it.
Does Ken have a channel?
I think he's confused. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I'm joining that club very quickly. Yes.
All right. So this is the
Doug, you know we're not going to let you live that down.
Oh, I'm not going to let me live it down. I'm owning that. I'm owning that. And the exact verbiage was, does this guy know what he's doing? And that's in that following comment, he looks confused.
Yeah.
That was the exact verbiage. I am owning that.
By the way, the last video I posted was that video, that unlisted video that I shared in the chat. So don't expect me to post very often because I don't have much to post about. And my upload speed's not very good.
All right. Let's see. So this one is Alex's channel. And
so
just
I'll let the cat out of the bag. Doug's neon sign says, does this guy know what he's doing? And I think he's confused, but he's not going to let everybody know that.
My neon sign?
Like Carrie's neon sign?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I could, I was thinking of getting a coffee mug with that on it.
I get the revenue off that.
He wants to...
Whatever it's called.
Push it. This is...
Oh, my gosh. Gary, you got a channel? I'll put the plug in for you. Hey, Doug, can you put a plug into Gary's channel?
All right.
Jared's in the room.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah, I don't think he has a channel. I mean, I don't think he publishes. Everybody has a channel. If you log into YouTube, you have a channel.
Right.
Okay, so then if you refresh, you'll see those new entries. Ay, caramba, how long have we been?
3 hours.
3 hours? Why is it always right at 3 hours that I noticed that?
Well, you got 5 minutes to go.
I think you're trying to be like Carrie with that 3 hour thing.
Oh, man.
I joined on with you. I think it was like a 2:45 my time, which would have been like 12:45 your time.
Yeah. Well, my XSplit timer says 3 minutes 40 seconds right now. So when I started the Google Earth thing,
excuse me. Actually, you guys, I do have a question.
Yeah.
I am 100% not into games. Sorry. I have got something that shows up every other day, and it's not a virus, but it's Epic Launcher. Anybody know that?
That's the company that makes Fortnite. You have to download that to be able to download Fortnite because Fortnite downloads through that.
I don't want Fortnite or that. Any clues how to get rid of it?
Well, then you should be able to just go to the programs and features and uninstall it.
Do it every other day, literally.
Oh, do you find it in the programs and then uninstall it and it comes back?
Yes.
That's weird.
Well,
that's strange.
Like with Teams, Microsoft Teams, I can uninstall Teams from a client's computer and it comes back because there's another program on the programs list called something like Teams Installer. It actually doesn't start with the letter T, so that's why it's somewhere else in the list. But how about when you're in the programs list, click the column heading for company or publisher, whatever it is, to sort them in order and see if there's something else from that same publisher?
I'll try that. Thank you.
Also, I'm sorry, Gary. Also, did you check and see if it's running on startup from the task manager?
Yep. No.
It's not there. Wow, that's weird.
Well, there's also run keys, a few different auto start keys in the registry that won't show up on that startup tab.
No, I know where that's at because I check things around at other times. The other place I've checked just for services, not there either.
Okay.
I thought it might be under services, something running. You might delete it, just check tomorrow. Because the reason I thought that is I don't reboot every day. I take the laptop home with me.
All right. How about this? Epic Game Launcher keeps reinstalling itself.
Sounds good to me. I've probably seen it, but
Never the first time I installed, eggs would not start up for some reason. Kept uninstalling it. So let's go see what they say there. This is Reddit. Joy. For some reason, no matter how many times I uninstall it, so I've read enough there and scroll all the way down. Never the first time uninstall. Perhaps you download any games from eggs. Nope, I figured a way to nope, I never figured a way to solve it. So that doesn't look like a solution. Why Fortnite keeps reinstalling itself? The answer is fun and simple. Well, there's an interesting thing.
And an answer too.
Two things that don't go together, fun and simple.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start playing games and it'd be there for a reason.
Here, the answer is fun and simple. Your Epic Game Launcher is so dumb and lazy to track the already existing Fortnite folder. There are many reasons why your Epic Launcher is facing this problem. One of them is frequent installing, uninstalling the game, removing the installation folder. These could be the main reasons. Step to fix reinstalling problem. Are they saying that's reinstalling when I don't want it to, or that I have to keep reinstalling it? What is this person originally complaining about?
He wants to.
Here we are again with a new fix for Fortnite. Are you facing a problem in which Fortnite keeps reinstalling itself? Well, that sounds like unwanted installs, I think.
Hey, Tony.
Navigate to where you have installed the default path. Have to rename the current Fortnite folder. Rename it, not delete it. Now start Epic Launcher.
That doesn't seem to apply here since
No, I don't think so.
he doesn't have Fortnite.
This sounds to me like somebody who wants it, but it keeps reinstalling itself.
Well, I have a program that I like from a company called NurseSoft.
Yeah.
I don't usually use shareware, but I've talked to the owner and actually paid for it. Anyway, he has a program that'll go check directories all through the system.
Yeah.
And I check for games. I use Fortnite. There was another one a couple of people at work told me about. I didn't find any games. I thought Epic might be hid down there someplace, either directory or program. Once I deleted it, I couldn't find it or uninstalled it.
This paragraph right here tells us this is not what we want. Finally, you have fixed the issue. Fortnite keeps reinstalling itself. We hope you now are enjoying your game. So that's clearly not.
Yeah, that clearly doesn't apply here.
Not what
Well,
we're
there's this flat, right? Can you get rid of that game?
Gary, were there any games ever installed on this machine?
No, this is my machine from days ago. I unboxed it.
Okay. Well, that's very weird. Where's the machine from? Who made it?
No, it's a lead.
That's a joke.
From Lenovo.
Okay.
The 99 280 GTX or RTX 280.
Okay. Is this has been ever since you've had it, or?
I've had it about got to the beginning of the year. So what's that? 10 months.
Oh, okay. But it's done that for the whole time you've owned it.
Yes, and it even goes on virtual systems. That's the fun part. Because I have it on Windows 11 and Windows 10.
What the hell?
It sounds like it's something coming from the Windows Store, possibly, that Microsoft likes to install, because Microsoft likes to automatically install stuff like Candy Crush from the Windows Store. So it kind of sounds like they're doing the same thing, but with Epic Games.
No games.
Yeah, but the Epic thing is a client used to install games. it may be coming in. He may be right. It may be coming in through the Microsoft.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably coming in from the Microsoft store. It's a possibility. I haven't looked to see if Epic Games is available or Fortnite is available on the Microsoft store because I don't use it except to download like backgrounds and stuff, wallpapers. But
It may be, but I'm taking it straight from. It's not a Microsoft. It's not a retail Microsoft. It's an enterprise.
Yeah, I've not.
I have to give Doug a shout out real quick while we run out of things to say. I built my computer in July. I was actually going to live stream it, and Doug suggested that I don't. And those were probably the best advice I've ever heard him give somebody because I struggled putting that together. But it works.
Yeah.
Then shout out to Jim. Jim shot me a part list, and I appreciated that. And Jim's helped me out and Jim will tell you, I think I emailed him 222 times.
Oh, I don't think it was quite that much.
It was close.
It wasn't quite that much. Well, you took some of the stuff from my list and you took some of the stuff from Catherine's list.
Oh, you were supposed to let that cat out of the bag now.
Oh, no, I'm going to because she was not exactly happy about it either.
Really, you think?
Wait a minute, I missed that. What did you do?
Well, originally Ken got a hardware list from Catherine, and he ran it by me. I made some alternate suggestions, which he eventually went with one or two of the things I suggested. And apparently, well, let's just put it this way. You know how Catherine is. She voiced her displeasure.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. She's still voicing her displeasure.
Really?
And I took it one step further. I took Catherine's list, I took Jim's list, and then I put them all together. And then I said, well, I can't afford that. And I came up with a combination of three people's ideas. It works. That's all that matters.
Several of the things that I suggested and Catherine suggested were the same, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yes, they were.
Okay.
And I do have an RGB fan on the cooler because it came with the cooler, and that was from Jim. And at first I was like, yeah, but it's grown on me.
Which cooler was it? I don't remember.
The Cooler Master 212.
Oh, okay. The Hyper 212 in the RGB.
212,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I have doubled the RAM already because I was having problems with DaVinci Resolve, but I'm kind of leaning toward, I still think that's a graphics card thing. But for now, I deal with it.
Yeah, DaVinci Resolve it depends more on the graphics card than it does on the CPU.
Right.
So, at some point, you whenever you can afford it and these prices aren't ridiculous, you can probably.
Well, I don't need anything super extravagant either. I just need a basic graphics card, and that'll do that. Master Singleton, thank you very much for the subscription, by the way. Appreciate that.
All right, since you just mentioned the chat room, let me catch up.
Yeah, there's a super chat in there somewhere.
I hope the next Windows 11 update will fix the issue with UI scaling on high resolution displays from Master Singleton. And then Chris, when I flew to Hawaii before, early in the morning you could see lightness and darkness ahead. Depends upon the way you're going, east or west. And of course, the height when you're flying is you're going to see further over the curvature of the earth. Master, for Alex Cheek's channel, I can't click on the bell as his channel is treated as YouTube Kids channel. Oh, all right. So I guess it can't send notifications because you're identified as a kids channel. All right. Didn't know that.
What did you say, Doug? I didn't get that.
Yeah, Master Single tells us he can't click on the notification bell for your channel because your channel is treated as a YouTube Kids channel.
I clicked on it. It worked just fine.
The bell worked for you? All right. Yeah, well, let me go record this. Get this on video then.
I didn't realize that because a couple of those videos that I did with those scammers, where the scammers connected, at the very end, they use some very naughty language.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, all right. So here I'll click on subscribe, and here's the bell, and all. Yeah, that worked. Yeah, so I'm not I think there must be some other reason, Master Singleton, that you're not able to click on the bell. I don't know what it would be. Bill Sony TT3, $10. Thank you, Bill. He says, thank you. You welcome me. Have a Coke on me. Doug, did you get my email? Did you understand or not? Or try MS Config? So I already responded in the chat room to Bill that I did not get an email from him. I checked. So try sending that again. I'll put up that email address on screen right now. DougBetts at LiveWindowsTraining.com. And let's see, you know what? I should actually put that in the chat. DougBetts. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it might be that when he's trying to, if it is an actual Windows program and not a Windows Store app, it might be that when he's trying to uninstall it using the traditional programs and features, that it's leaving some bits and pieces of the installation files behind, which is making it reinstall. So he might want to try using a Revo uninstaller to get rid of all of the files, because that will do a deep clean and remove all of the files for whatever program you're trying to remove.
Yeah, good point. And maybe even use the Revo uninstaller before you manually uninstall it?
Maybe,
because Revo uninstaller tells you to first uninstall using the normal method, then use Revo, but I don't know why I'm thinking that Revo might be better. Oh, you know what? You can actually, if you actually have Revo uninstaller installed on your computer, when the program gets installed, I think it's better able to uninstall, but that might not be true if there's already residual elements that are present. Okay, continue with chat. Greg Guy says hello, just set up his new modem. He's U.S. Navy retired. Thank you for your service. That's from me to Bill. Love flying at 30,000 feet. That was 1991. I hope I get to come out to California, but my niece wants to come see her friends here also, so don't know yet. And let's see, that's me putting my email address into chat. Wondermute, tell Gary to check Task Scheduler for something that might be installing Epic at user login. Wow, that's a possibility. You know how to get to Task Scheduler, I suspect, Gary. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. Ida Rivera, that's a setting on his own channel. Happened to me before with Carrie's channel, received that message. So she's referring to Alex's channel with not being able to do the bell, but I was able to do it. So is Ida saying that is a setting on Master Singleton's channel? I think that's what she's saying. But I don't know what that setting would be that would prevent you from ringing the bell on a channel. Master Single, the way to fix Epic Games Launcher reinstall issue is a clean install of Windows. That's a little too severe. There's got to be an easier way. Revo will run programs uninstaller first. That's right. Yeah, BH Ringer is, because when I was saying, should you do Revo first? Yeah, that's right. It does run the programs uninstaller first, but maybe if that's launched from Revo, it monitors that uninstallation, and maybe that helps it do a better job.
Another thing is you may want to run that uninstaller, Revo, or whatever you choose to run in safe mode.
Safe mode. Are you sure that it will run in safe mode?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, and that might be an issue. A lot of utilities like on that level won't run in safe mode.
The school had a piece of antivirus software, Sophos or something like that, on their computer that I didn't want on their computer since we were taking it over. That basically allowed them to manage the computer that we didn't need on it. So it was running, and I couldn't because of table protection or something, I couldn't get it to remove in normal, so I had to try it in safe mode. And I think in the end, I just ended up wiping the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I've come across some things that I need to do in safe mode to get clear of whatever's going on.
Is Fortnite still a thing now, or is it pretty much dead?
Oh, it's high popularity.
Oh God, yes.
Oh yeah, like it might be like the number one.
Well, between that
game.
and CS:GO, it's what we refer to as an esport title, I think.
I'll tell you how old the other one I am. I like Doom and Wolfenstein.
Oh yeah, been there, done that.
First network games, or not first, but
Yeah, I took my grandson to a Halloween store, and they just tons and tons of Fortnite character costumes.
my kids are in their 30s and 40s.
They don't wear costumes?
Yeah.
So Gary, I assume the computer you're talking about that keeps reinstalling Fortnite is not a computer that you can let me connect remote to.
Not right now, but yeah, I can let you do that.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to do a video with that, showing that symptom, and Jan is trying to find the solution.
Okay. Yeah. Not today, but yeah, maybe. The reason I say yes, it's personal business. It's not work.
Oh, okay.
Work, yeah. Work, no.
Yeah. Work would be no. Yeah, I'd love to do that with you. Do you want to pick a day and time?
Oh, I'll give you an email. Okay.
Okay, great.
See what I'm doing.
Awesome.
Okay, that would be fun, and maybe you guys can come up with something. Because I've tried to work. They've kind of given me a little shit, but pardon me, but they couldn't get rid of it either.
Oh, who couldn't get rid of it?
My security guy.
Oh wow.
And that's what I told him. He said, if you can't get rid of it, you'll be working someplace next week that isn't here.
So does he have McDonald's now?
All right.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'd be very interested in that one. That's nobody can get rid of it. That's weird.
Yeah.
We check task manager, task scheduler. I have a program that goes through everywhere and looks for Epic. I went through the registry. I have a program with the registry, not normal reg edit, but I actually go through it with a C++ program I wrote.
Oh, wow.
And that takes every data piece out there and puts it into ASCII, compare it. Once Epic is gone, and 2 to 3 days later, it's there again.
2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, I will say this computer is with me at work, but it's not a work computer. And it stays on 20 hours a day. And if it's not on the Ethernet or the Wi-Fi are not on. So there's no outside internet when I'm not on the computer.
Have you tried using Event Viewer to see when it got installed?
Yeah, and I don't get it. Usually doesn't have a time, or it has blank for time and date on programs and features.
That's not my question. I'm talking about Event Viewer. The Event Viewer items always have time and date.
I haven't thought of that. I'll set that up.
Okay.
But the cool thing is, installed, it's not on right now, but installed, size, and version are all blank.
Yeah, okay. So my reason for nailing down the time and date is that might give you a clue. That's not going to solve it, but it might give you a clue.
What about that? Might tell me if it's coming in at home or at work.
Yeah.
That would be
Does anyone else get their hands on the computer?
only if they want to get shot. No. At home, the person would be my wife. She doesn't play games. And at work, it's in the office. And if anybody's in the office and I'm not there, I'm not joking. That is not a good thing for them.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, does log me in or whatever remote software you're using right now, does it allow you to do a remote connection when you're in safe mode? As long as you have the networking enabled?
Yes. Yes, it allows me to restart the computer in safe mode with networking. If the person already has the computer in safe mode with networking, for me to establish a new connection that doesn't previously exist, I don't think I've tried that.
Because I tried, even though there's an option for TeamViewer, even though there's an option in TeamViewer for safe mode, when I tried to put one of the school computers inside of safe mode remotely when nobody was there, it wouldn't show me the safe mode on my end. But then I got to school the next day and my instructor says, why is the computer in safe mode, or what's wrong with the computer? And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize the computer was in safe mode because I hit the safe mode button on my end and didn't see it come up, as in safe mode.
When it came up, did you have connection to it while it was in safe mode?
I didn't know it was in safe mode until I got to school the next day, and my instructor says, why is it in safe mode?
Okay, so, but you gave the command for it to restart in safe mode.
Correct.
Did you lose your connection at that point?
Yes.
You did. Okay, so yeah, it restarted in safe mode, but did not establish a connection for you. All right. Yeah, Log Me and Rescue lets me do that.
But why would they put that option there and then it not allow me to establish connection automatically?
I'd be wondering if there's something about the networking configuration with the school that prevents it from getting to the network.
Or it could be in safe mode for some reason. It doesn't have the proper driver for the NIC.
I think that's what it was, because there's no, in our particular setup, there was no networking issue with the school, because the school gave us our own public IP address, totally separate from them. So we had our own public IP address, our own network set up that we had complete control of. I could access anytime, day or night, 24/7, even look at the cameras that they installed in the room.
Okay.
Or like video conferencing and whatever.
All right. So network driver that doesn't work in safe mode is a possibility?
Probably. It's just a question I had. It doesn't matter now, of course, but.
Well, it does matter now because we're curious. That's our nature. So did you try, when you're physically at the computer, did you try restarting it with networking and see if you can still access the internet?
No, because at the time he was trying to do a class or whatever, and I guess I was too busy.
You haven't tried it since then?
No, I can't. Since then, I've graduated.
Oh.
I graduated back in May, and they got a new instructor because my current instructor left. The new instructor's probably torn everything down.
All right.
To my disappointment, it took us a year to get all that working.
Did you check to see if the public IP is still accessible?
No, I can't. Because I set up an open VPN server on the school's end so we can connect to it.
All right.
Connect to all computers and stuff with the VPN that I set up. But the VPN connection is no longer available. But they still use it for like Minecraft and stuff, as far as I'm aware. But I can't check that because I don't have Minecraft installed.
The university has a class in Minecraft?
No. One of the guys that goes to school there is part of the IT club, and the IT club wanted to start like a Minecraft. They wanted to be able to play Minecraft, but in order to be able to play Minecraft, in my case, or to be able to see if the public IP is still accessible via that port number, I still have to.
Okay.
I would have to have Minecraft installed on my computer, which I do not have.
Okay. Gary?
Yes.
Were you trying to drop into something?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
I heard it also. The beep.
Oh, all right.
But if you're curious, I kept my connection to the school. I graduated in May. I kept my connection to the school from May all the way up until August, all the way up until the week before school started.
Oh.
And a new instructor came in, and the IT guy that I'm friends with said, "What's all the passwords? Send me all your passwords." And then I get a text message from the instructor, because I posted my number as the message that comes up when you press Control-Alt-Delete on the computer. So the first thing they see is my number. So I get a call from get a text from that new instructor asking me for the stuff, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. All right, are you guys ready to pull a plug on this?
Always no.
It's almost 7:30 here on the East Coast.
3.5 hours. I want to get off, then go do something else. Oh boy, let me see. Do I need to finish up anything on chat room? Let's see. There's my last one. Chat room. Emailed you a screenshot of the issue. I've subscribed via unlisted Sys Network Tour 21 video, which is listed as YouTube Kids content. On the unlisted video. Yeah, you probably want to go to one of his other videos to subscribe and be able to do the bell. Maybe that was it. He was doing that on the unlisted video.
That might be it.
Says Revo uninstaller first. Uninstall that program supplied in the installation process after Revo searching the registry and folders with the program name. Revo uninstaller first run uninstall that the program supplied. Yeah, got it. In the installation process after Revo searching the registry and folders with the program name. Yeah, I think we're on the same page there.
I think the problem is there's something other than that name.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that could be not the name Revo. Revo worked the same regardless of other software installations. Okay, Jeff Ryman, does safe mode worth with networking still exist? Yeah, I think it's probably been weeks or maybe a couple months since I've tried it, but yes. There's a lot of things you try to launch or a program or something might not work in safe mode. Bill, I'm sorry if you guys can understand me before. I'm using Windows dictation. I speak better than I write. I had a good time in this room. Thank you for the invite. Oh, you're welcome, Bill. Thank you for being with us. It seems to me that I remember you tell me that before about your using Windows dictation, so I'll try to keep that in mind. And there's typos all the time. I don't think you've been any more typos than anybody else. Let's see, and I'm seeing that there's been $25 in chat revenue. There's 18 concurrent viewers. Thank you for everyone who's donated and participated, and it's been a lot of fun. So,
How long will it take for this video to be public on, since you're using like StreamYard or whatever?
I'm not using StreamYard. It's public right now. It
Are you going to pull it or leave it?
What I mean is like the recording of the.
You'll be able to play it back probably within minutes of the stream ending.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's no, it's not recording. This is live stream. YouTube's recorded. YouTube has it. It may take a while before that translate, that dictate, that, the text thing is
Transcript.
Oh, it's also be a while before the chat is replayable.
Oh yeah, that'll take a couple of hours, I think, at least.
Yeah, the chat's not immediately replayable. Apparently they scour through it. I don't know what they do.
But plus there's nothing to retract from this tonight,
Nothing to retract?
Yeah, that you would want to take out, or
Yeah, no, there's nothing. There's now I could, if there's something happened during the video that I accidentally revealed something private, then I would change it to private right away and then edit it. And if I edit a live stream video, we lose the chat. The chat is not replayable. It will be visible when I put it on screen through my computer, but it won't be visible on the side. Ida Rivera with another $5. Thank you so much, Ida. I appreciate that. She says, keep it up. I will do that. All right. Slight possibility I might do an impromptu session tomorrow, but I'm not decided on that. So, other than that, thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for participating in the chat. Thank you for watching the video afterward. Thank you for putting comments on the video, for doing likes. All of that counts and helps. And here I'm going to go. I don't have a computer to disconnect from. I'm going to go in the Zoom meeting.
Gary left.
Gary left already. So you guys are out in 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Bye. And then there's my last edition of my email address, or last exposure of my email address. I hope that has been useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.